guy squad was. So seems like a little bit of sniper action going on here. Now jumping in with Commandment, Sap, Zayt, and High Sky. One of the teams that we definitely want to see in that end game.
Yep.
Showing you guys this is their path, this is their running. They probably got some conflict around here.
Conflict, something you don't want, but it is an inevitability, especially with this many players left on the map and being over at Risky. We will see. Dr. Football, lazy. Engagement did in fact happen. You got to be thinking, did that squad in fact double back, go on the engagement? Dr. Football, though, they're going to be pinned up against the wall. They are burning through their mats. Hopefully they'll be okay, but overall, though, they got to be careful. They get eliminated here. That's going to be a bad placement. They're choosing the dip monster. Let's see if they can get away.
Yeah, right. And this is the trade that they go for, right? If the enemy team is firing, they're wasting medium bullets. But at the same time, they're wasting mediums. But now we got a little bit of a box fight. There is a trap in there. We're going to have to take away as the frames are kind of jumping around the place. Unfortunately, guys, just making it a little bit unwatchable there. Hopefully, we can load that feed up when his consistency happens. And yeah, here we're back with it. Just kind of give you guys a little bit of insight. So Dr. Football is going to lose the trade in the trap box. He's going to get coned out beautifully by whoever it was that took him out. Looks like it's the tax team who's right here who's going to get X-Hay. And now it's orbed once again, just orbed by himself. Seems like it's the same story that we saw in the previous run, and it's not going to be enough. Fades and Attack is going to win that engagement right there. And now they're off to the lobby.
And Ball on your screen as well. Hey, even if he's not casting, he's still a part of the broadcast. My goodness. Ninja is a positional mastermind. This meta is the return of Ninja, the return of Team Face Ninja. All right, Ball, thank you. We appreciate that. Positional mastermind. How many players have been called that?
That's right. Ninja 2K, man.
Last one.
Hey, seriously, it's a real thing.
Mark teams for me, please, within like the closest team within a radius.
And there it is. You heard that right there. Mark enemy teams for him, closest within the radius, so he can send that rocket and make it hard for them. Dankline did catch a grenade knock right there with those beautiful placed nades, and now that AR fire's coming in, that's the conversion right there. He got the elim, and now they're like, chill. I got the knock. They got the storm surge, they got the knock, and they're good to go right now. And that's also going to be the replenish on the shield that he lost. And oh no, their teammate also gets knocked right there. Too easy. And look at the carry. This is the best part about Season 2, I swear, is the fact that you can save your teammate.
Not only that, but the thing too, whenever you throw them, it literally says you yeeted them. Good elim coming down low. Satana, unfortunately, is going to be taken out himself. It's going to be down to Beans. How many times we see Beans in this clutch situation? It seems as if he's always the last one alive. I think he's trying to get the res onto Sully. It's not going to happen. Beans forced to fight it out. Luckily, though, he is going to have some nice health. We'll go ahead and try to take over just a bit of high ground that he potentially can. Meanwhile, on the other side, though, we will, in fact, see Dankline, Diddy, sexy as well as Hoffner into a fight themselves. And, of course, no one's going to be home as of yet. They're sitting pretty. Still a little bit to go for zone, but not too bad. Their position is going to work out for the best of them, but there is going to be some water just off to the edge. They can avoid that. I think they'll be quite all right. We'll see what the competition has in store for them just in a little bit. 50 seconds, so we'll start moving forward.
Using a harpoon to yoink all those mats right there from the knock from earlier. It's going to be a little something. We're looking at the other side. Guys, pay close attention. Pay very close attention to the map right now. This is where things are going to get weird. We saw Ninja's team at the northeastern side rotating wide and across. We saw that one guy's squad also kind of collapsing from the opposite direction. So there's going to be a lot of traction coming from the northern circle. But not only that, everyone else has to now make it to the middle. Big mountain and a big factory nearby, which means people are definitely going to be situated.
Oh, yeah.
Great on materials. That's two like very interesting POIs. When there's structures that teams can farm inside out,
yes,
right there to the brick to the right, and when there's mountains, that just makes, you know, kind of safe havens for loot saving.
Mountains, man. They make things awkward, but they also bring a blessing to your team, especially if you end up on top of that hill. You talk about ultimate high ground. See those scores on your screen, right? It's getting interesting in top 6, but one thing is for sure, the consistent kings themselves, Commandment, Zayt, High Sky, and Sap, right, sitting at 38 overall. We're going to see a couple of nice elims coming through. There was actually one on to Doctor and his team. This team, they've been fighting for quite some time. We saw Doctor try and back up, try and get away. We see what the end result was of that. His team does, in fact, get taken out. They're going to lose out on some great placement points, but a good job from Mars, Crump, and Attacks over there. Back onto real time with Monsters Boy of Nosh, Chaotic Ghoul, as well as Paper. Sitting 8 total points. They've got a lot of catching up to do. This could be the game for them to do, so they're going to be right at the edge of the zone. They're looking solid so far. They've got a nice inventory. Overall, I think they could, in fact, have a very successful game, but still 65 players remain. You got to get those tags.
100%. It looks like the Twitch chat is in shambles now as Bala has broken everything. But going back to other tweets, can any contested teams advance to the grand finals? I don't think so. Hashtag FNCS finals. I think we've got some questions being thrown around. Can any contested teams advance to the grand finals? I mean, honestly, it's anyone's ball game. You guys have to think about it. Today, in this heat, you might have your area to yourself. In finals, when teams push all the way through in semifinals, it's going to be different. You're going to have different lobbies loaded with different players, and that's why it's important to know your heats and do your homework. So, yes, contested teams can make it through. Doesn't mean that's going to be easy. But here now with Vinny, this is the replay mode. Guys, we're backtracking as to what happened to some of our favorite teams. You guys saw a glimpse at the leaderboard and why it was important to make points. They had a struggle in the previous game. Yeah. Zextro, and it looks like Zextro's having another tough run right there as Macwindum getting knocked to some nade spam. I'm jumping back to real time, just kind of back and forth here as we time travel, guys. To the future we go with Diddy and Hoffner. They've lost some teammates.
Definitely have lost some teammates, and obviously that puts you at a huge disadvantage. Luckily, though, they should be able to get too easy up, be able to get the res off, and that's going to be hugely beneficial still. 11 points, right? 11 points isn't too bad. You got to be thinking to yourself, 8th place is sitting at 15 points. If they want to get into the money, into 6th place to qualify for finals, it's only 18 points. They are currently 7 points away from getting up there. Now, of course, that is in a perfect world if nobody else in top 6 is scoring points, which we know they are at least, but something to think about. Now, this is a crazy thing, right? Off to the right of your screen, true to character, after 2 games, the top 5 teams in NA East have 66 elims, compared with 89 for EU. So we do see a drop in total elims, but overall, the story is still the same. You get most of your elims late game. That's where we're seeing the bulk of them come through. But honestly, that stat is kind of unfair. Because you're talking about Mitro and his squad, right? They're coming through. You're talking about an average of 11 elims per game. That probably had something to do with it being up to 89.
Yeah, that's right. No, and honestly, that's just been the story for the entire, I guess, year or two, the last 2 years of Fortnite competitive. Europe has always been slightly more aggressive. NA East specifically has always had issues with Storm Surge and a lot of people staying alive to the end. I don't know what it says about the character of these players, but it is a type of characteristic that all of these regions hold to themselves. Talking about characteristics and consistency and things people do, High Sky catching elims like nobody's business. He's going to catch one right there. They're still in the running right now. So they're coming down south from the northwest side of the map. Just now it's time to keep an eye on who takes the high ground from those angles and see if they make it all the way through. Remember, this is the replay mode, so we're kind of rewinding here a couple minutes back in time. Now look, relate that to the current zone, right? They're coming from the top left. That means any players can come across them. They got to all go up and over this mountain. 50 players are in the lobby right now.
Water makes fights awkward. So does a mountain. Luckily, though, this isn't in that winter side section. We talked about it earlier with those mountains. That can absolutely make things crazy, but it's still a mountain nonetheless. It's going to make things just a little bit awkward. Overall, though,
actually,
Nosh, a long way to go.
I'm a little bit off on the mountain part. I kind of miscalled it. It's got to cut across the river before it gets to the mountain. But regardless of what, it's an awkward rotation nonetheless right here. They're cutting all the way up. But this is the first time I think we're seeing Nosh's team make it this late with this much. Hopefully they can convert this into something. They're doing a great job keeping the storm to their side. It's going to help them conserve material. But no, they're getting collapsed on right now. There's plenty players coming in. Nosh calling out. He's probably edit. He's going
Storm
up
Surge
now.
is going to be
right in
hurting
front of him. It's not going to be enough, though. He is going to get traded out right there. And it's Funk, Nate Hill are still in the running. They just collided with the wrong Titans in this game right there. They're out. Their entire team is now crumbling. No Max.
Okay. But it's going to be one. I believe I can't say. I think that's Ninja. So Ninja is in fact going to drop as well. So Nate Hill, Funk Bomb, as well as Reverse. Hopefully it's still going to be up. A great knock coming out from the Storm, though. Chaotic going off, keeping the squad alive. He's going for the refresh. Goes and traps another player. Unfortunately, gets caught off guard. He's going to get taken out in the end, but 2 elims. It's going to be 2 points. Good stuff coming out from them. Fantastic work overall. Hassan, though, on your screen. A squad that has consistently made it late game. Trying to get into a fight. That one guy pretty much all by himself. He doesn't have a squad to back him up. And it looks like he's going to pay for it. He gets dropped fully eliminated in the end. And now it's going to be the 3 guys remaining on the squad. They're trying to dip out. They know Storm's going to be right on their heels. They want to preserve their life. Nothing they can do. One guy, he's gone.
100%. He just baited his team. Dude, he just baited his team so hard. Flexen was looking at that wall. He could have went up with the one guy. He said, nope. Stood down there. He got smoked. A little 2v1 action up top, unfortunately. But good rotation here. They're actually running low on material right now, and it's cutting down over the cliff right now. And now up they go. They're trying to connect to the other enemies and get to the mountains to the side. This is actually a really crazy zone right here. It is going down. The shots are being traded. Hansen still sitting respectively on good health. But the pressure's coming in from all types of angles right now. He's just running out of material slowly but surely. Once again, the shots are just going to make it that much harder, and that's it. He's down to 6 builds now. What's he going to do? The zone of safety just in front of him.
Oh,
and he has to break all the way through. He's with a bunch of players. He hit that shot. He missed. That choke is going to get him out of there.
We gotta go. We gotta go. Follow me.
Oh no, Ninja wasn't taken out.
Oh, I thought it was Ninja. I think we're a little bit behind. I think we're a little bit delayed, but I think Ninja does in fact get taken out. We'll definitely find out just a little bit earlier, or just a little bit later. This is where the pressure starts coming through. And if I'm correct, yeah, this is actually later because you remember Funk picked up an Elim just a little bit earlier. And currently the team sits at 0. So we are going to get to see what happened behind the scenes. What was so successful about Nate Hill, Funk, Reverse, and Ninja? Why did they make it out alive? The other squad did not. Well, we're going to get to see that other side of the story. For the time being, though, Tarpon Over is going to be our man of Nate Hill. He is burning through some mats, but it is well worth it. Still a ways to go. And if I'm correct, I think the fight ended up happening on low ground, so maybe he gets dropped down.
Yeah, so what happens here, he's trying to actually elevate himself to get to a better layer, but he runs out of material, so his team needs to split with him. That's kind of how that all unfolds and how that fight forces onto one another. Now jumping in with another team here. This is the team on high ground.
Yeah.
They have full control of the field right now. It's a little bit hard to kind of see the name of the squad, but nonetheless, they're up top. They have a gold spaz. Whoever we're tuned in right now with right here, whoever we're holding in with has quite the loadout. AR gold spaz. Very, very nice. Let's see what he's going to do with this pump shotgun in the high ground right now.
Yep. Something to think about, right? He's got to go ahead and laser down low. Something to think about. This is where Ninja was last game, right? With the squad, they had high ground, and I believe they're still down low lurking around. Someone's got to challenge this team or else they're going to have an easy going for that victory royale. Folks, as a player down low, it's going to be a good knock overall. That pump hits hard.
Elim right there. You saw the red text come up. We're looking at it like a 160p ourselves, boys. Don't worry about it, but we're trying our best here now. Jumping back with FaZe Funk. We wanted to see what happens from the other perspective here. You get a little bit of that low ground action as Funk and Reverse are still in the running. Ninja was traded out for that little bit of confirmation. And it's Nate Hill is also down here. RPG Funk with the 2-for-1 special right there. No more materials left either. Puts him in shambles town position, but it's okay. Because at least he's got some pressure. He's got the layer to himself. This is the crucial point where you need that impact frag. Can he find an impact elimination to put his material resource back up? His teammate isn't splitting, so I'm assuming Reverse is also out. And this is the time where fragging happens. They both can do this. Reverse is a pop-off in endgame.
Oh, no!
Double rocket from the side, though. Attacks once again. We see take out another team right here. He's going to dismantle Funk by himself.
First, last alive, Flopper to bring him up to 100, right? He knows he needs to be full health for the next attack. This is for positioning as well as for placement. You look at it, players are dropping off left and right. Just a couple more players drop and you can have a better placement. Not gonna happen. Lasered out of the air. And now we get down, medkit in hand. Maybe worried about a hill off. You do hear them talking, Monster. I think a hill off could, in fact, occur. They're going to try and break down some builds. Is it going to happen? They do get a couple tags.
No way it's gonna happen. There's no way. Hydra here, or Kydra is firing up above. There's 3 players left. Everyone else is sitting in the zone right now. They're using those floppers to their benefits, and that's one of the changes in the meta, but it's not gonna be enough. They try to go for the heal off. They read the zone wrong. Sorry, his excitement there, the squeaker screams.
Love it.
Off for a second, but now jumping back with the replay, we can see everything that unfolded in the final moments. Zayt was still alive in the endgame. It was Commandment. Okay, so Commandment was in the zone. Look how many floppers he had. This is a very cheeky play on his part, trying to eat the floppers and stay in the running, and then come in from the high ground with a pinch attack. It wasn't enough there. You can see Frey going up, trying to give him a little bit of a run for his money, but Commandment outbuilds him, and that's how he stays up top and squeaks away what might be just a second place, which is huge, honestly, because we're talking placement point differences, right? As the last team was alive in low ground.
And so much action going through, and we do have to point out Kydra's team is in fact going to take over that victory. But once again, second place finish from Commandment and Squad is going to be much welcome. They were already sitting at first with 38 total points. That's going to be even more. You can actually look at his screen right now. That's 59 points to their inventory, and that is going to excel them even more so. He had 4 elims himself this game. You can imagine what the rest of his squad, actually, you can go and look through 5, 8, total of 9 elims. I don't think he got any more yet. I think this was actually going to be it. I think this is when he ended up getting lasered. I like the idea of the grapple, right? Bring him into the mix. You can't beat him, join him, right? And that's exactly what he was trying to make him do. And that's when he gets finished. You know, couldn't beat the zone, but great stuff from them.
That would have been an incredible play, man. The harpoons to pull them into the zone would have been such a big brain player. Not only that, if you get the headshots, you're still going to pull them, and you're going to hit them for like 150 plus, right? That could have been actually crazy to clutch up right there. Probably would have been one of the dirtiest plays we've ever seen for Chapter 2. But nonetheless, second place is huge. Consistency. If I had to guess, they're still taking the lead right now in first place for the first 3.
Oh, come on. Who else is taking them out? You even saw the first place team there, right? I mean, Kydra, I think they were sitting at like 38, 39 points. That's definitely going to move them up, right? They're going to be within top 6.
That was Commandment and the boys. They were in the lead. So for them to catch another second, this is why they're so consistent.
Yeah, I mean, consistency is key. Right? They say it in the Army all the time. They say it, you've been saying it all night as well. Consistency is key, and that is what's going to rule overall. I can't wait to see top 6 and see where we lie. But man, it's been a great time for these first 3 games. It's been exciting. Things are starting to heat up. The next 3 games are going to be underway. And I gotta think there. At least I'm hearing there was a shakeup. I'm thinking there was a big difference. Let's go ahead and show our top 6. Did we actually see the consistent boys? Are you kidding me? Nate Hill, Ninja, fucking reversed, actually come through, and they will in fact be in first at 43 points.
What happened? Where the points come up from? Out of nowhere. Commandant, they're gonna stay down in 38. There must be some kind of something happening here.
Yeah.
The points are definitely off. So anyways, with that being said, guys, this is going to be it from Monster Deface and Reflections here. Thank you guys for having us for the first half. When we return from this short break, we're going to come back. You guys will have Aussie Antics and Shadow Wager to close out the NA East Finals. Any final words from your Reflections before we get going?
Hey, great action. I'll be here tomorrow as well. Aussie, Shadow, they're about to kill it. Monster, great working with you for the first time.
That's right. All right, so we'll see you guys soon. And again, thank you guys. Enjoy the break.
top right in front of me. One's on me. Someone go beach and wrap.
Oh, hit! I knocked one. I don't hit that one.
Alright, we got this. White, right here.
That's fine.
All right, welcome back. My name is not Monster D-Face. That is not Reflections.
I am Reflections.
My name is Shia Wager. This is Aussie Antics, the man with the, highest expectations from a lot of people in the chat.
Oh,
I've been
okay.
keeping up with you. I really like what you've got going over there in the OCE region. My man has a big community with him as well. Tell us a little bit about you, Aussie. What do you get up to in the Fortnite scene?
Oh man, mate, basically just doing this, but not as hyped, man. I'm trying to do what you guys do with less production value, man. This has been incredible. Oh my gosh, I've been loving it so much right now. I'm so hyped for it. Pretty much just do commentary, watch all the OC stuff. I try and watch a bit of NA, but man, trying to compete with quality like this is just nuts.
Nah, man, you do a bang-up job yourself exactly for when you are. The grind is the same thing that we see, every single other place. We've watched these 3 games. I was with you on a call watching these games. Actually, we've seen some pop-off moments, the types of wins we've kind of seen in a surprise fashion. We're just talking about how Commandment almost got that win at the very end. Just need to land maybe 1 or 2 harpoon shots, pull guys into the zone. But we're going to keep that hype rolling. We're almost in game. When it comes up, the transition will come through and we will adapt to it. So production, whenever it's ready. Oh, there we go. People have already landed. Let's go. What are you looking forward to the most here, Aussie?
Oh, no, I mean, Nosh and that, like we've seen, so mechanically been absolutely insane. I think they've been managing the Storm Surge a little bit off. It's causing them to take some kind of mid-game fights that maybe weren't optimal, but they got the Slurpee, and I think they've got uncontested Slurpee here, so they're making time of it, get to do some fishing, get to farm up the extra shield. They should look really good this game.
Absolutely. I think we've also been talking about the fact that these guys have been shambles so many times mid-game.
Oh, so many.
Yeah, we've seen them time and time again basically get exactly what they need to get, but then sometimes on the wither, maybe 1 or 2 people are caught out. You talked about the fact that you've seen Nosh before. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah, I've just seen mechanically insane. I mean, he was told to me as the best box fighter in the world, and I mean, after watching him, that crazy high sense, but the control he has with it is just unreal.
No, absolutely. Right now we're tuning in with Odd as well and Sweaty Sands. We've seen a few fights happen here as well. What would you say are the keys of playing this POI? What do you need to do? What do you need to control when you're trying to get the top spot?
It's a hard one. You can take that natural high ground on the big building if you want and hold it, or you go for the more loot pathing around the houses, maybe split a little bit more, take your time, but it's just, it's about controlling the high ground with this one. But who gets less mat and high grounds, or who gets the more loot and gets the low ground? But we'll see. We've already got 1 knockdown, 1 taken out though. This is about to be a 3v4, I believe. No, 3v2, sorry. They've actually switched it around. Bit of a shambles fight for both these teams now. Only got the green pump and the blue SMG, no meds, 50 health. Not really where you want to be for this team.
And this is the second time we've seen Septona and Beans individually in this spot as well. Sully usually be the first one going down in the squad time and time again, just in this heat. So, sometimes people say Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. I think these guys might be a little bit insane, but you need that zaniness when you're playing these games. You need to have that clutch factor. Maybe they're just playing towards that.
Ooh, takes the high ground. They're fighting over the high ground now. This is what we want to see. Whoever has the high ground here, I don't really think too much is going to come down to meds and mats at the same time. If you've got this high ground, you're at a massive advantage, no matter the numbers. He's just holding it right now. He's got probably the best loadout we've seen out of these teams in Sweaty, though. He's got the spare minis, full health, full shield with a full loadout. You have to say it goes their way, but this is just taking more and more time. They got zone, luckily, so they're in Sweaty in zone. They don't have to rotate too fast. They can take their time with this fight, which I'm sure is playing into things, making them go nice and slow.
Kind of player count difference as well as kind of being shown and how careful people are playing this game versus the last one had a 99 member list for such a long time holding out. So people are trying a few different things. At the same time, just because there are 89 squads alive doesn't mean that, or 89 people alive doesn't mean that any squads have actually been knocked. You might be in these situations where, there's just 1 or 2 people down per squad. So it's not the end of the day for a lot of people, but more scuffed individuals means crazier things happening on rotation.
Yeah, that's the part you got to worry about, right? Someone's shambles, someone's taking a fight that isn't normally a fight you'd predict. They roll up on you, they take out even just 1 or 2 teammates and just ruin your game and their chance to get back into it. It leads to some unpredictability, especially as we get towards these final games, right? Like, you got to go hard or go home at this point. You got 3 games to go. If you're sitting on these lower points, there's no real point playing conservative, It's either you place or you don't. There's really no like participation award.
Come.
Everything's on the line. I would actually talk about Dr. Football Squad, but not sure exactly how many are alive as his beautiful face covers the camera in this basement fight at Lazy Lake. The side edits coming through with the triangle. Very safe edit to have if you can reset it fast enough. But will it be enough to actually get these guys in and out at record time? They need these elims. We see Dr. Football on that low HP. Not sure how many teammates are alive once again. There is Surge who's down with his reboot card. See who comes out on top.
Yeah, you guys
You've got that epic pump though. If you got the epic pump, it doesn't matter how much health you're on. You can take someone from 100 to 0 real quick. You know, like you got to play like you're 100 when you got this gun. Choose to drop it though. Actually, he's opting. He's given the pump. I'm guessing that means his teammate probably has high health, high shield, making sure he gets the impact weapon.
Yeah, absolute game sense there, knowing exactly where you can push your advantages and when. You might be biting off more than you can chew. This is the 4th game we're tuning in with right now on the N8 East region. This is Heat 1. So for North America, we've already seen Europe once. This is kind of the defining characteristics as to how these heats will look, how Storm Surge will play in this specific region. We saw some patterns from Europe that differ away from NA, especially the way people survive in Endgame. What can you predict right now in this game personally with this zone kind of central? What are kind of the end game things that will happen?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We saw a couple games earlier where went over that real deep water. It looks like we're going to avoid that this game unless you get some really unlucky zones pulling up here towards Sweaty. It looks like it's not going to have any of those crazy deep water end games. It means you could hit over a mountain or two, but I guess we'll see. I think teams are going to go more aggressive here. I think the lobby is going to thin out a lot quicker towards these last 3 games. Like we said, people going for higher points if they're sitting a little bit lower, but this zone's an interesting one. So it's pulled up towards Sweaty. It's more of a central zone. So yeah, I don't think we're going to get the water to play out here, but it'll still be a crazy end game. These end games have been unbelievable. Getting Storm Surge right up until 3rd rotating zone. It's been incredible.
Yeah, the only way to get points in these games as well is literally the hardest thing to do. You have to be able to survive all the way towards those 8th and 9th circles sometimes to finally get those last 2 thresholds of placement. So, either you're clutching with floppers in the zone or you're slaying out with your team on low ground. Very limited options when you do have your back against the wall. 85 players left alive. A lot of squads available as well as you tune in with the positional mastermind himself, Ninja. Stellar performances in 3 of these games. Surprising for you, or did you expect this happening?
I mean, there's the team that's been around for ages, right? We had the content creator thing thrown around a lot, but these players have been pros for a very long time. This meta goes back to more of an old school meta, right? There's less rotational items in the game. A lot of people argue it's less mechanical, more game sense, right? So this team they've got the game sense there on their side and they're proving it. 43 points so far, doing really well. They picked up the win as well on high ground. They're doing great. So I'm not surprised, to be honest, but I mean, I think these kind of games could go either way, but I'm super happy for them though. You love to see the big boys coming out on top.
Yeah, it's awesome to have a fandom or someone just to follow for so long that's so consistent with putting out all his content, and then have him switch up from, that content and competitive, be able to do both, live in both worlds in a sense. You go back talking about Sweaty Sands, though, you talked about the zone coming here could seem as a problem for a lot of teams, and looks like, the water is playing a big aspect right now in these rotations.
It could, yeah. If it goes that deep water, it's so difficult. Shallow water is one thing. Deep water, where you got to build down 2 layers just to reconnect and build any cover, it throws you off massively. It makes the zone RNG so much more prevalent in how you play it, but it makes it interesting, though. I'm not going to complain if it does go that way. It always makes for an exciting endgame.
No, absolutely. As we kind of slow things down here, it doesn't look like many people are actually getting into too much action in NA East. One big pattern we do see a lot of the times is players kind of, getting a few skirmishes in, but then once the zones finally start moving, once these mid-game rotations finally start getting faster on foot, not much really changes. Everyone guys, stay alive. That's kind of what the pattern we're going to be seeing with Frey Squad over here.
Yeah, I think so. Same time, like I said, people are trying to go for those high point games and they're down the bottom, but it also means those players at the top who know they just need a few points each game might slow it down a little bit, right? They might avoid those mid-game fights just hoping they go, oh, the nade strikes come out. Managing to build out of it beautifully right now. This team is not too stacked up on each other. It's been this meta for a while. Never mind, takes a nade. That was a lot of nade strikes there. Only one connecting. That's pretty good to walk away with after a full nade strike from a squad. You'll take that for sure. You got the minis, got the big pot. Didn't lose anything there, really.
Yeah, never really went offline, just had a little bit of a pause, and now it's full play through forward. These guys are going to be moving up from the south side of the zone towards Sweaty Sands. One thing you can expect are hills, a lot of little dips, which is what these guys are in, and those dips are magnets to grenades, as you guys already saw and Ozzy pointed out. So moving out of these big POIs, this is where a lot of people will be clashing. Question is, will these clashes end their 4th game run? Once again, only 2 more left to put any type of points on the board.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've seen 2 of the 4 games so far pulled towards this sweaty sand zone, right? We saw, I think it was the first game of the day, went over that really deep water on the far north. So we've seen a lot of zones go there, which is going to play into the hands of those teams that drop on that side of the map. Pushing forward, got some spray coming out now, trying to get some good tags against Storm Surge is always an issue in these lobbies. You got to get as many tags as you can when you can. Holding onto those 4 nades as well, probably one of the best ways to get guaranteed Storm Surge tags is just dropping a bunch of nades on them. You don't even have to pick up the Elim. Being squads, usually if you get an Elim, you'll leave it if only you pick up 1 player, but doing 200 damage for your Storm Surge tags comes in massive towards the end game.
Yeah, big focus on Storm Surge. Look at exactly what happens when you spend too long looking for tags on a squad while Storm Surge is still up. And even if you're ahead, you lose out on the grand scope of things around the server. It's a 2-man grenade that goes down. Both BBG members are out of the competition for now. A reboot could be possible, even a revive, as there's no more grenade follow-ups. But I presume that these guys will be pushing up the Mogul Master skin forward with Frey as well. Looks like who's on this squad, unless I'm reading these names wrong. I see the same bitrate you guys are seeing on stream. More Sisfrag
make that out.
Ooh, it's a full Elim finish.
Jeez, that's a big pickup. Not even Storm Surge got that point as well. Again, that bitrate issue, can't exactly see how many points they're on. I think I'm making out high 30s. So again, chance to qualify here out of this team. So these Elims could come in huge.
Now we see the end result of exactly where this fight took place. It was near one of the high ground portions of the map. It is a little bit of a natural low ground, at the same time has a vast coverage on everything around you. I think every squad we're going to be tuning in with, including Noshes, will have a view on this big expanded base that you see towards the north of them. At the same time, though, one thing to note, these guys are all still alive, Ozzy. No one's gone down yet, and there's not much chaos whatsoever.
Haven't seen his team in that situation too much. That loadout was looking fantastic as well. He had the RPG floppers. He was looking really good. Probably the best point we've seen that team in during the mid game. And again, their points aren't really showing it too much. They are a mechanically insane team, like we talked about earlier with Nosh. So they can really create some upsets here. Don't know if they can pick up the points they need to get into that qualification area. But at the same time, a team that scary with that loadout mid zone, you're going to have to watch out for them.
Yeah, you talk about scary teams. We're tuning in with the boys who are out for revenge. They're going to be going up and fighting in Weeping Woods. It's Creo's team. They did get that first game win off of high ground, so they're going to be with a lot of momentum coming through once we finally get those leaderboards updated. Right now, though, Nosh is still chilling out. No edits being taken whatsoever. You want to be as calm as possible, not get on that front side of the grenades being thrown by anyone else looking for tags.
They've dodged Storm Surge now. He probably get it again. Ooh, tuning with Zexro now. Again, another team that is incredibly scary right now. They got nade striked last game. We saw Zex go down to the nades last game. We also saw a cheeky reboot on Zex earlier today as well. So we'll see. They're looking good now, though. No reboots needed here. They're looking actually really good. That's a good loadout. See how they played out. 28 points on a team which can drop points as high as this team. I think they're a good chance to still qualify. We'll have to see, but they were one of the favorites going into today. So
absolutely. These guys are my personal pick to win the entire FCS. We go back in, might be a positional mastermind, but for now, the combat is not going to be Ninja Strong Suit. He's going to be the first one down in this squad that is still getting pressure put down upon them. Going to be using hard mats to disengage. This is going to be a little bit tricky, having 1,500 less mats and 5 less inventory slots moving into the late game.
You're going to have to imagine that was a nade strike there as well. Obviously, didn't push onto it. So you saw Ninja go down. They didn't secure the mats. They didn't secure anything there. It was just, again, an elimination point and some Storm Surge tags. You have to imagine that's what happened there. They didn't push up on it. It wasn't aggressive. So same time, you lose a player. It is pretty big, but at least you retain the mats and the loot as well. We can see that Nate Hill's loadout right now is pretty insane. We're maxed out on shield and 4 floppers with an epic pump and an epic AR. That's looking really good. So again, lose a player, but at the same time, they're not in too bad of a position. 47 points as well. They're definitely up there. We saw in that the leaderboard we showed, which we're not 100% sure on just yet, but they're definitely up there. So they don't need too many points this game. If they keep playing consistent like they are, they're definitely going to qualify today.
Yeah, you talk about power in a squad as well. Usually, if you do have a purple AR and a purple shotgun, you'll split them with teammates. I see an extra purple AR down there as well. It looks like maybe that entire squad is rocking rainbow loadouts. That's going to be very interesting to see. You talk about rainbows, though. The Fade camo over here on Nosh is going to be looking forward to see if he can get any pressure on these guys. This whole squad is shooting. He self-RPGs, though. The big blunders coming in. You know, you mentioned a little bit of scuffage when it comes to these stacked lobbies. Early on when we were watching through. It does happen. You have to take account for it. These guys have had practice. Mistakes, even the best players make them.
Oh yeah, same thing. You can always blame on a bit of a server delay there as well, but not really sure where that one was going. Could have been a bit of a misclick. Not too bad. Look at all the shield that's being passed around. They've got the meds there to make up for it. Obviously a bit of a misplay, but could have been much worse. We heard some of those nades come out. We had an opportunistic team see the RPG, maybe try and get some nades in as well. Didn't connect, so it uses some meds, but it could have been much worse at the end of the day. This is still the best position we've seen this team in so far today.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't set them back too far. Flopper did have to be used. Those are very important for those end game zones. 70 players left alive means that Storm Surge has finally stopped ticking this far into the third zone.
Oof. Yeah, we haven't seen anyone go down recently, right? I swear, like, unless this team's got a big delay, it was 71, you know, like a couple minutes ago. Only one player's gone down recently. I think that was Ninja.
Yeah, this is how tight these guys all have to play. A big profile player also going down, but a huge influence on how that team kind of plays the end game. You see exactly as well when all these teams are playing together. Actually, before that, big shots coming down to Hanson. He's out of shields and going to be sprayed through his builds. He's going completely down, and his teammates are nowhere near him.
There it is. Like we said, Zexro's team, they're a scary team going down to Mac with their team that has that high frag potential, and they're looking for limbs right now. They haven't secured as high points as what they wanted, so they're going to start looking for aggressive plays. We tune back into Nosh on the high ground. They got half-half, and they're on high ground. Now they're looking phenomenal. Those extra meds won't even matter if they get some eliminations from up here.
Not at all over here. All you need is pressure.
We can double RPG. Where are you at? Where are you at?
Looking at the consistency, a little bit of a tag on the right side. You can see below that mini-map. Only 2 teams have finished all 3 games in the top 8. Zate, as well as Trini's team, who's in 10th place. There's that 3rd team we're actually not sure about, but we'll see them actually pop up in this game. That is huge for consistency and overall points as well. We're going to be seeing if anyone can contest that, but the competition might have already left the gate and be a bit too far for the teams at the bottom of the leaderboards to catch up.
Yeah, we'll see. But on this, focus on the gameplay right here. We got a bit of a box fight going in, a complete shambles box fight here. This is a scramble going on inside the building of Sweaty. We just see Step out. They're trying to find these angles, hiding behind the enemies. Goes down again. That's Zexro's team picking up those limbs. They are looking for a high frag game right now. If they win this one, they're going to rack up the points.
Yeah, and to be able to survive that and not take any full eliminations on your knocked teammates is huge. You revive back up. You get the floppers the enemy team probably has. You have double RPGs from the teams on height. Kind of pressure down whatsoever. Is this the right decision, though? Do you want to be able to let all your ammo loose right now when you don't know where the next zone is? Can you get elims? Are they pulling the trigger too early?
Yeah, I think they might be, honestly, there. You see the RPGs come out as more of a suppression tool, right? Like, knock down the players trying to take height. We've seen 2 of the 3 games today go down to the team that was on height. They won it by just controlling height, all 4 players alive. RPGs are an essential point in that, maintaining height, knocking out anyone who tries to crank up towards you. So I don't like using too many for the aggression. They've kept 1. I would have liked to see 2 or 3 to not pick up their limb, but still, you never know. This team does need to pick up some limbs. They know they're on those 13 points, so...
Yeah, I mean, RPG is not only just a utility, an inventory slot, it's an announcement to the server. When you use one, now everyone knows that height has at least 2 if they're paying attention. There always is one very keen eye on every squad while people are based up. And I don't think, you make a very good point there, that anyone will be able to contest these guys on height from second height willingly.
No, I don't think so. It'd be almost like, you know, you'd be investing too much, you know, to try and take off them at that point. 2 RPGs, even if they run out of rockets, though, it's hard enough to take height from a full team. Look at this. They're splitting up the tarps right now, trying to get split angles. They've got the mats to do it. They're not just all funneling in the same way. They're trying to get these limbs. They want to find these different angles and try and get some shots in on these players.
And now Nosh's community is probably raging with happiness seeing these guys actually have height and hold it with not that much contention. Maybe those early RPGs were the big play. We have a double tarp coming through that's now going to be connected up near the top. Going to be a few of... Ooh, shields being dropped down. Mats are going to be low for Nosh, so that's a very low point. Only 100 wood left, down to 50. He needs to find his team.
He's going to make a move here. I can find the team will find elimination. Honestly, we've got, again, one of the mechanically best players we've seen here in this heat right now. Could be dropping down and going for some of those aggressive limbs. There's 39 alive. You probably imagine he waits maybe until next zone announces and looks for it, but he's only got 7 builds. If you let yourself run out completely, you're on shambles in that mid down. Getting knocked out now. There he goes. He's only got 3 builds left. It's going to come down to it. They're going to get knocked down soon. Paper's not looking too healthy anymore. They're going down. They're looking for these limbs. Ghoul's so low right now. Pushing down in. Picking up some limbs right now. Gets the Siphon back. They almost pick up a whole squad there. Ghoul goes down. We've got a bit of a box fight here. Trap on the roof. It's going to pick him up. Nosh goes down to the trap.
Nosh finally gets eliminated over there. The distress of not having materials made it so that his RPG was never actually used on that entire height tarp. I was trying to communicate with his teammates. Now Paper and Chaotic, who's going to be in his home territory of chaos in this endgame, will still have height, but will the rest of the server tune into the fact there's only 2 people who are going to be holding this, one of which has absolutely 0 mats?
Yeah, this is not the position they want to be in. Like we said, they need to pick up those eliminations. You want to stay on high ground, but you invest everything to have it, and then it gets to the point now where height is the advantage, right? It's all coming in. You've got the high ground. You've got it for the placement points. But if they can't drop down and get some elims from it, yeah, they're going to pick up the placement points, but they need a high point game. 15, even if you pick up the win here, it's not going to be enough points out of this one. So I don't know, maybe could have dropped down a little bit earlier there, but you never really know. 26 alive, only 2 elims of their squad for having high ground this whole time. They just can't find their way in right now. Look at all these builds beneath them. It's rotating back through existing builds, making it even more difficult.
Yeah, their big vehicle of a squad has ran completely out of fuel. Luckily, though, Zone is allowing them to move back to their old edits. Neither player has any materials whatsoever, and 2 squads have already taken that into account. Fully cranking 90s all the way towards the high ground. Paper now editing down into his old base. An 8th place finish for both players, it looks like, as Nosh goes straight back to the lobby to kind of, understand exactly where they can map manage maybe just a little bit better. They do run away with a little bit of placement, though. We tune back in with Strudels and our mystery man over here, who's going to be getting knocked down completely on a mid-game rotation. Unfortunate for him. It's Heck, actually, or Hecky that we're watching.
Yeah, I don't know. See, like I said, we called a little bit earlier there. It's kind of hard. You got to have the high ground, but they ended up losing it anyway. The RPGs didn't really come out. They just couldn't find their footing on that. They had all the advantages, but they just didn't really play that one the right way. We'll see how they go, though. They still got 2 more games to pick up some more points. Don't know how they'll go. We got a full squad here, though. This is a team that's commanding it right now. They've got the mats. They've got everything they need right now. They're looking great. All 4 together, pushing through. They haven't got the RPGs. They've got about everything else. Only 3 points, though. They're looking to make a statement on this game, I think. They're going to pick up some serious points right now if they keep pulling this one out.
Yeah, they're very strong in position and mats, but you have to keep into account there's someone with an even better position who's probably still also better well off, and that's height at the moment, who's probably pressuring as many people as possible. Soto's now the only place he can get these elims is in and around his box. Those are very hard to get compared to beaming anyone, but they get an access line straight into a tunnel. Can they get any pollution out of there is the big question. Soto's once again has that 50 pop, is not popping it yet, still moving through old builds. Maybe they can conserve some mats on this push.
Yeah, going back through old builds is where you want to be, right? They're going back through old metal. He's trying to top out a little bit here. We're back in with Frey right now. He's going to have to look for an impact limb right now, just breaking through these builds. None of them are his. He's just trying to find the non-metal. He's going to get stuck here pretty soon. Wait, these might be his builds. They are his builds. We can't see through the spectator mode. These are old builds. Just trying to pick up those placement points. You're solo carrying your team at this point. You've really got to run through. Never mind, gets picked up from someone behind, out in zone. He goes down. We're back into this squad, though. It's light and day between the squads right now. 4 alive all together. No! We've got the team on top right now. Goes down to Ghoul. We've got Funk holding it down. How many times have we seen Funk try to solo clutch this today? See if he can pull it out again. He's a veteran of it, though. He might be able to pull off some extra placement points.
Yeah, those are all the updates from all the squads that we were following earlier on that did end up getting eliminated. Different points out in this final moving circle right now. It's the calm before the storm. Not many shots being taken. The fact that height is not putting down pressure kind of tells me that they either don't have rockets, explosives, or they have a limited amount, which they have to wait for the zone to get smaller for. Now moving into enemy builds, face Funk is still alive all the way at the end over here. Has minis and a bandage cannon with a slew of mats and ammo. This could be his shining moment.
He could do it. Let's see. Hopefully we follow him here, see how he plays this one out again. He's an absolute veteran of this game mode. He's been probably one of the most experienced out of all the competitive players today. He's been in the highest stakes situations. He knows the team's on his back right now. This is their chance to qualify. Some people didn't think they'd be able to do it, but I honestly think he will today. He's on that low ground. He's looking great, like you said.
Yep, and his team that was on Mega that we tuned in with earlier, Strudels, finally ended up taking height. They had enough of a comfortable spot to be able to take height off of whoever was up there previously once they had their bases all set up. Claw now is going to be the weakest one on the team, but only missing a little bit of HP. Funk finally moving through all the way to low ground. This is where you have to be when you are kind of in a shambles situation. 500 mats with full ammos and shields isn't too shambles, but it's where the action happens when 2 pumps get shot straight into Shax over there, who gets completely down. All the teammates' reboots cars are gone, but that's irrelevant because Funk is the person who we're going to be watching for this clutch. Still has so many more mats to use and the heals to boot as well.
He's going to go through right now. He's just trying to take this low ground. He's holding these builds against the enemy. They're trying to get in. He's holding them out for his life. Puts the trap on the roof. This could be a double trap pickup. It is. Takes down Zexro. He goes down. That player on 15 health was the difference. If that player went down 2 there, he would have clutched up so hard. Did the best he could there. Honestly, had 2 of the best players pushing in on him. Also trying to get their qualification right now, but he did so well for a solo effort right there. You love to see it out of Funk.
That's what we call a squad player playing in a squad. 2 squads into one, kind of like those Chernobyl dolls. Just because one person is left doesn't mean he doesn't pack the power, the game sense, and the aim of the entire squad behind him when the pressure rises. Right now, though, big edits coming down to complete chaos. Similar skins, it looks like, over here as well. It's completely hard to tell exactly what's going on from squad to squad. Claw taking so much damage, jumping, getting jumped out. Now it's all up to Aggro, who gets aggressed on. 3rd place gets handed out to 1v1 for the finish.
The full squad on full squad. We saw 2 of the big ones go in there. That was incredible. We saw 2 squads looking healthy, looking through their rotations. They go down. We're going to skip back through. Let's see who's got this one now. We're going to go back and see through what happened there. Did you catch what happened, Shio?
No idea, but this is why we have that replay system and the awesome POG production in the background to show us exactly
so good.
who came out with the replays. That's the first Elam that we saw onto Carry from, or onto Calc, I guess, from Carry. Maybe the kill feed might be a little bit off, but let's tune in and see exactly who won this game. Big RPG, awesome.
This is Commandment going for another solo clutch. We've seen it twice now. He has just got this team on his back in these endgames, solo clutching it through. Same with Funk. They're picking up so many placement points solo. We see him here with this RPG, rotating in late, just doing work. He finds another player in his box. I thought it was a teammate. He didn't even notice he was there. But Plexi goes down. Commandment, he's going through. He gets another tag, 134 blue. He knocks down 2 of that team. He picked it up. Even if he didn't get maximum points there, he put them in shambles. He went down swinging.
Yeah, you talk about shambles. This squad is still staying alive. No mats. AR's out. You don't need builds, but that was the individual who actually got trapped down there. Now it's all Vinny and Calc. They're going to be clutching up with all the mats they got from these, I think, 5 different squads eliminated on low ground. We can see exactly who won. To note, these guys have gone down multiple times in the game previously, gotten back up, gotten rebooted in multiple different games as well. Sortles is still holding height. It seems like the server's thinning out, but more chaos is happening over and over again.
It's just rotating through full builds. It's so hard to get in there and find those angles. Look at this fully built metal. It is basically a fortress of metal. If you can find a little tunnel and you can find some breathing room and then play out from it. But I mean, this is the definition of back against the wall, right? Someone gets in on you and it's just full toe-to-toe shotgun and traps coming out. They're trying to pick each other up. It's complete chaos, but you love to watch it. It's so exciting.
That's toe-to-toe indeed, and Creel's the one who's got that big foot that'll kick down anyone trying to get into his tarp whatsoever. These guys are going to be peaking as 4. How scary is that when 4 shotguns look at you? 200 HP is like a twig to a giant. Gets snapped instantly, and right now these guys are moving as a unit. They finally open out, crack the egg, go down towards the low ground. Is this possibly their second win? Sortles finally goes down. Has the greatest still alive here, though. So is Calc. It's a big entire skerfuffle. Aggro finally goes down. Is on height with a bandage cannon in tow as well.
He's trying to follow that storm and he's just trying to hug it as much as he can, try and stay alive, and does pick it up. He solo wins it in the end there. 46 points. That might rack up to 49, I believe. We might have a bit of a delay, or is it 46 total? Either way, a phenomenal effort there. We see the bandage cannon coming in clutch. Just every time he jumped out, he just got it, just extra little bit of health, just kept him alive, kept him pushing through. That was super exciting. That was a great game. Oh my gosh, this is the kind of gameplay we love.
Dude, out of all the chess pieces on that board, low ground and high ground, Has the Great comes from the storm with a bandage cannon, gets height, and clutches out the game. I did not expect that. Someone just threw a checkers piece towards the enemy's king, and it was checkmate. That was an insane endgame.
He did that so well.
Yeah, so right now as well, we're getting a word from the back. The leaderboards in total are kind of just getting prepared over time. We saw a little bit of that hindrance in the last leaderboard update. So when we have that full leaderboard up, we will give you guys an update. That being said, though, it might be during next game. This game, the focus on it is just insane. What are the key moments in that end game? What happened on low ground, man? Like,
I mean, it's the solo carries though. Seriously, a double. We had the double team pushing. We had Zexro and Mac. We had them full sending it in, and he got the trap on the roof. He almost took him down. He had such a good toe-to-toe fight there. You love to see it again. The pumps coming out, shotguns coming out, traps out. It's the most exciting end game for sure. You love to see the teams on high ground just commanding the lobby, shooting down. But there is nothing more exciting than that box fight meta, just toe-to-toe. Your squad versus theirs. Like you said, shotguns out, all on one person. It's just they just get blown away, and you love to see it.
no, you really do, man. It's Comp Fortnite. That game, if I explain Comp Fortnite as chaotic as it was, is what Comp Fortnite is. You'll be seeing something happening on your screen that seems monumental, but there's always another area of the map. There's always another possibility of, smart use with an item. For a player to come in, maybe didn't have that much of a say, right? Perplexity came down all the way near the end. Has just comes in, even though his teammate goes down. You talked about Commandment's clutches. He comes up as that squad within a squad and just saves the whole game in a sense. That was the first, I think, time we've seen the clutch fully work. That almost happened back in EU with Skype, but he won the heal off. Yeah. So, Height triumphs in that game in a sense. At the same time, falls, new Height comes up, they win the game.
Yeah, it's crazy. With this amount of healing as well, you can sit out in Storm and come back up and just take it late. We're going to get some leaderboards now. Apparently, it is going to be a little bit bugged, though, guys, so bear with us. We're going to announce the bugs, though, that we're pretty sure are on there. So we've got it a little bit out, but we'll do the best we can to make sure we run through it properly. Do you want to take this one?
All right. So right now, just a big update.
Okay.
Zate squad is going to be the one that's in first place. It does say 48 points over there. I'm pretty sure that all the other points should be correct. If anyone has an update on exactly how many points Zate, Commandment, High Sky, and Saf have, that would be a huge help. But in second, we have Ninja, Face Funk, Nate Hill, and Reverse. Then we have the God Squad, Zexro, Calculator, Vinny, and Macwood. And then to just tee off the last top 6, Perplexity and Haz, who just got that Victory Royale, are going to be sitting in 5th place. Creo, or actually, yeah, no, they'll still be sitting in 4th place. My bad for the confusion. Creo will be creeping up with all that placement in that last game in 5th. And then Deal Play, Heki, Kaija, and Frey will be in 6th.
Yeah, seriously, jumped up there. We said it. Look at that. Zexro, Cal, we got him up there. They seriously doing amazing. 52, so that's 3rd place, correct? And we've got now, that's it. Ninja, though, the story there, though. We had Ninja maybe going to qualify. This is their time. They're playing amazing. Even dropping down from 1st to 2nd, though. But Ninja squad in 2nd. That has to be the focus so far now. I mean, honestly, we have the Kings on top. No one was probably going to be surprised to see them up there whatsoever. But again, there's always that kind of tumultuous view between content creators when they go pro, right? People love Ninja. People want to see him fail. They don't want to see him do well in this as well. But he is seriously proving them wrong right now. They are playing so consistent. Even then, Ninja went down early. We said it, he went down, but they maintained the mats, and look what Funk did with it in the end. You know, like, you lose a player early, but if you've got 3 experienced veterans of competitive, they can play on their own. They know what they're doing. They can get some extra points.
Yeah, it's community versus the entire squad themselves with such high expectations. We also have that big storyline of the squad winners time and time again. Zate, Commandment, High Sky, and Sap, these entire 4 weeks have just absolutely bombed up on NA. It's been great. We'll tune into the next game as we finish up those or the comments from the leaderboard. Young Calculator, Macwood, Zexro, and Vinny have been those past FCS winners. So they're trying to defend their title against someone else who's done so well in this mode. And they both might possibly be making it to finals from the same heat, having a history in these games. That's really cool to think about.
Oh, it's crazy. And as I said, so there's some stats coming out from this heat so far. A lot of people would consider this heat the weakest heat out of all of them. At the middle to low end, though. At the top, though, you've got those absolute Slayer teams, though. So at the same time, to try and get like a consistent top 5 that go through here, you'll have some upsets. You'll have some of those big names, or you'd imagine you have some of those big names not go through, right? There's only so many slots they can all go through. To see the Kings up there, Zex team and Ninja's team all go through for the finals would be phenomenal. Like, you can't ask for a better story going into finals, seeing all of those 3 teams going toe-to-toe. But I didn't fully expect it, honestly. You think with only a few slots on the line with so many other phenomenal teams in there, to come out on top and play consistent, it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of skill.
And it's effort that they've been putting in. Right now, we go back over to Nosh in his home ground of Slurpy Swamp Lands here in solos and commands his squads in the FCS game mode. Chaotic right now, getting knocked down to a little bit less of HP, but does have a lot of slurp. Canisters to actually drink out. Big shots being actually given down onto Nosh. I'm flabbergasted just because there's so much action going on. Ozzy, take over from me.
So much going on. It's on the spawn as well. We've seen this before. Last game we saw Nosh's squad have the untest slope. He goes down. That was such a fast shot. He had that right angle. That was a very, very long tack shot. Again, haven't picked up any shields yet. This fight happened the second they landed down. They didn't have time to get any loot, any shield. We have Paper down. We have Nosh down. Paper's actually been finished. Chaotic's on less than 20 health. Ghoul only has a little bit. It looks like they've wiped this squad, though. I think they're going to contain it. We do have the reboot van there. They should be fine to get that reboot, get their shields back up. I mean, if you're going to take a Slurpee fight, you kind of want to go that way, right? You don't want a long, prolonged fight. You're either going to go toe-to-toe, clear them out, take the advantage of the time to fish, get your extra mats, or you want to then, or obviously you want to try and not go down to them. But if you have a long, prolonged fight in Slurpee, there goes all the advantages. We have one of the teams, though, right now. We're tuning back in over here at Sweaty. We've had such a contested drop on Sweaty right now. One player down. This team, you'd have to think the points on both this team, right? You'd have to think it's due to them fighting each other. Both these teams have not been able to get a foothold on this tournament, and you think it's because they're just doing it to each other, right? Every time we tune into this team, one of them's down, 2 of them are down, they're in shambles, right? Like, no team's coming out on top of this right now. The nades come out, he's pushing out with attack, he's trying to get into him. He's trying to just dodge those nades for now. He's got the attack in hand.
It's Sap Toner right now, who's going to be, it looks like a little bit of the Eagle battles that we see in NA. Last split we saw in the very, very grand finals. Inspire versus Booga, kind of fighting for Paradise Palms, or Moisty Palms, should I correct myself in saying. Right now, though, the final fight is going to be happening. Only 4 points on the leaderboard, so this is just going to be a battle of exactly who can own the spot at the end of the day. You mentioned it yourself, multiple people going down means that there's no chance of these guys maybe even making it out of heats, unless J-Love squad, which is who I'm assuming these guys are fighting will be able to come out on top. Big shots being taken to actually connecting with the tactical shotgun. Not sure exactly where Clutch is at the moment, but he is of no help in this box fight. Pickaxe out with the ramp flip actually blocking the first shot, and then the combo comes down for the big finish, and now there's only one person left in that squad. This is the alternate perspective of the fight that just happened.
Again, though, you got to think, like you said, like it's win the battle, lose the war situation, right? Like whoever wins this isn't really winning though. Like they're going out of this shambles. They have a lot of time to get some loot, but again, look how far away that zone is. It's pulling far south. You're on an edge area. If you take these fights, they take too long. You win, but you still end up losing. You have to rotate in so slow now.
Yeah, right now we
He's
have
got the
to...
tack coming out there, trying to finish him off. He's trying to get. He's got the burst rifle. He's got the SMG and the tack. He's actually running low on some of his ammo, but then, as we know, we saw he takes it down, throws the L on him. Again, you'd be feeling a little bit toxic. We're tuning back into the fight over here at Lazy Lake, though. Another incredibly contested POI leads to these awkward style box fights right inside these buildings, very reminiscent of like an old tilted zone. All four alive here, though. It's a different kind of fight. Zay must be in there right now. He's gone down. Zay's gone down. We have him trying to put some spray on the high ground with the burst, though, from Dr. Football here. They're running low on mats right now. He's only got a little bit. He's trying to push up. See how he goes. This looks like it's two teams, right? But they're very split for two teams. You think they'd be a lot closer than this. We've got half the players down low. Gets a really nice tag. Cracks him off. Back over Slurpee, though.
Yeah, I don't mean. Yeah, they're running away. I don't even say we fight it. They get away.
He's got the RPG reloaded up here. We've got an incredible loadout right now. 4 fish. He's got the RPG. Look at this loadout. Legendary Scar, blue tag, epic rocket launcher. He's got the fish as well. We get the down. Dr. Football takes down Psycho. He's pushing in. Gets the extra little bit of mats he might need in these awkward box fights right now. These aren't their builds inside the building, so we'll see how he goes. He's trying to push up and through. This whole squad is alive. You think they've come out on top of this one, surely. They've got 4 of them alive. They're looking way better than this other squad. We don't have the perspective of this other squad right now, but you'd have to think they're looking worse than Dr. Football's squad right now.
Yeah, we talked about the loot that we saw from both teams. It's kind of a question is how much do you want to invest when you're playing in these early game fights when you already have so much set up. Even just having a 3-gun loadout with extra meds, having your whole team above 150 HP. Is there a point in taking the fight? I guess the answer to that question is trying to qualify, right? Only having 8 points, you have to get something done. We can see that with the amount of people left alive in the server. Still more people going down the end of that, but it looks like Saptona going down in the combo over there, the Sweaty Sands fight. People are still getting aggressive, trying to get a hold on the game, trying to get points up and momentum started so they can actually place near that top 6.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, at the same time, like, it have to be the factor going into it. I think in squads, one of the biggest factors we've seen so far is contested drops. Like both these teams, again, we haven't got the perspective on the other team, but any of the teams we're seeing contested, they're walking away without the points, right? Like it's whether, even if they're walking away right now, like we see Nosh's team walking away from this, yeah, they've got some Storm Surge tags, the loot's looking pretty good this game, but whether it's just the teams that are contested aren't then doing well end game, or it's because they're contested, you have to think there's some kind of a correlation there, right? We're seeing these teams contested. Every time we watch into them, it's 25 points or less, you know what I mean? Compared to some of, you know, got Ninja's team up there on the 50 points at this point. So we'll see how it goes right now. They're rotating and they got zone though. This is exactly what you want to Slurpee, right? You've pretty much got gifted zone. You've got the drop where you can spend the extra time they had because they had zone, fishing, getting those extra things they need. It's just going to look crazy for them now. I would say coming out of that, if you're not going to win this game as Nosh's team, you're going to be struggling for sure. This is the best they've looked so far. We said that last game and it turned to shambles pretty quick for them, but surely this game is it.
Yeah, right now we're looking at a little bit of errors within the game as well, with a few people not loading in, which is unfortunate. At the same time, these people are all very good at fighting in that 3v4 scenario. So it'll be fine. I believe we do have a replay up as well that we can watch of one of these teams if it does get pulled up. If not, it's all good. Looking at one of the calls to action on the right side here, creating some separation. After 4 games, we're starting to see the teams stake their claim with 4 of the top 6 teams in this heat, occupying 4 of the top spots. So you talked about it previously, top heavy teams who are qualifying. Yeah, they are playing and performing to and up to par. The server is still kind of staying as populated as you would expect in the final. So not to say that these newcomers or these, you know, lower tier teams aren't doing a good job. They're just not finding the way to capitalize on their leads or find win conditions towards the end compared to all these experienced squads.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see for Frankie's team right there on 48 points with only 1 player alive. He's going to have to clutch up. That's around that, like, you know, that qualifying point. So we'll see how he goes there. He looked pretty calm for being 1 player alive with 3 players still down. We see a little box fight going out here. He's got the nades looking like they want to skirt it. I think they just want to throw the nades, maybe get those Storm Surge tags and rotate away. Here we are back onto Frankie. Never mind, we're going back to this box fight here. They are going to aggress onto it. I didn't see any nade tags come out there, so I don't know what they're looking for here. This team's on 9 limbs. Again, we said this. They're going to have to play more aggressive. I think they've pushed this team off it. Yeah, they pushed the team off that wood base there. They just want to rotate through. Maybe it was a bit of a scare. They just wanted to scare him off. We'll see. No, we're looking at one of the teams here who did have a connection issue. Cypher, Cloud, and Creo missing their fourth. Gonna have to go in as trio.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult when it comes to what we've seen towards these end games. Every squad alive utilizing all 4 individuals. At the same time, we've seen a lot of clutch performances as well. Multiple squads who have one member who gets left alive, plays for that moment himself with coaches in his ear basically telling him his mat count. The kind of ambiance, though, when you're this far ahead into the competition, when you're 5 games deep in a sense, and you get that type of bad news, it's got to affect their mentality just even a slight bit. So we're going to see if they can adapt, if they can hold true, not tilt. That was one of the big points in the pre-show. But I'm rooting for them. We look at a complete squad in a sense, though. Macwood, Zex, Calculator, and Vinny are all in the game. They should all be good and set, ready to go. That's a chance at coming first. That's a chance at knocking off one of the top teams. Another top team,
again,
though.
somehow this happens. Again, we tune back into them. They're looking so good when they walk out of spawn. We don't tune in. We come back in their shambles. Like, I don't know what's happening to this team right now. It looks like it might be a bit of a nade strike. Nosh tries to push out. He wanted to pick Ghoul up. Ghoul gets picked up. It doesn't. Still goes down, unfortunately. There's 3 of them alive right now. This is a lot of nades right now. This team is fully investing in this one. They now knock down Chaotic too. Nosh is no shield right now. We have Paper looking pretty healthy, though, but he's got the fish, but he's going to have to somehow survive this. How many nades was the Shire?
How many nades, but how many mats as well? Look at Nosh's actual mat count. All his metal gone, 100 of his wood. An actual edit there to take out the remaining shield and HP. Yeah, you have the full type of most OP when it comes to healing items in terms of how fast they're used in time. But these guys are not letting Nosh or any of his teammates breathe whatsoever. Suffocation on the center point of the 3rd zone. The smashes on the desk there.
Death slam. Oh, you feel that one, right? You know exactly what he's going through right there. No matter what you do, you can't outplay it again. You can say whether it's RNG, whether it was position. I think at this point, you'd have to question their positioning, right? There's only so many times you can claim you're just getting unlucky, yeah? We tune into them. They're looking phenomenal. We come back, they're shambles. I don't know what happened to him there, but like, again, we talked about Nosh's mechanical prowess. He's not even getting to show it today. He's just getting nade striked or taken out before he even gets into those toe-to-toe fights that he loves so much. So, and in a way, you hate to see it, but at the same time, that team just picked up so much. He didn't even get to use half those fish, investing all those nades, but what are they going to walk away with? Not a lot of mats, like you said, but a lot of meds, you'd imagine. And the RPG is always a big swing too.
Yep, the points as well are the big thing that will just even boost up their mentality even of catching up if they have a nice performance towards the later part of this game as well. It was the E11 slash BBG, I believe, combination of Built by Gamers, which I think was Monster Deface's pick to actually go and pursue, win out this heat and qualify for the final. So hopefully these guys move in and do well. Another BBG half squadron over here with Odd and Chase. These guys are going to be moving forward and seeing if they can secure any type of nadage over here onto another squad. Looks like Built by Gamers has a pattern. This might actually even be previous sleeper. I don't think so. That's actually a shot coming through. We'll see if there's any follow-up. This is actually a completely different squad, but a very similar... Actually, no, this is the squad that we saw before.
Is it? I don't know anymore. You can't even tell anymore. This is just the meta, right? It's just nades dropping out. Either way, he got 100 tag. This is the same one. Yes, this is definitely Nosh. He pushed back over towards that water. We're watching the other side of this fight break out. But who's spraying him here? Who is this getting sprayed by? Is this 3 teams here right now? Because there's no way all that spray came out. Yeah, that could not have come out from Nosh's teammate right now. He was kept solo at this point in the game. So there's another team here. So they invest their nades. They push in and they get sprayed. Everyone's looking for points right now. Like we said, 2 games to go. You got to go big or go home. Go aggressive. Pick up your limbs or just pack it up and leave. You don't want to go down. These players are going down swinging.
Yeah, this is the most unfortunate thing that happened to these guys. I was going to say, because we tuned in a little bit late to that nade fight where we were just commenting on Nosh's position. Okay, very nice, interesting kind of call over there from Twitter. I think Hadi's a nice fan of...
That's it.
Well, I think for the Winter Royale, we will be, a lot of people will be competing just for fun. We'll see exactly how that goes. At the same time, though, talking about specifically how these guys approach that actual fight, they ended up getting center storm when that fight was going through the midway portion, which is why that 3rd team finally decided to get in and take that fight. It's so much more enticing and safe. That's really unfortunate that, they got a good position. That's really weird to say because I think that's the biggest issue. Right now, though, we're going to be looking at Nate Hill on the driver's seat of all these grenades being tossed down on the edge part of zone. You do not want to be this team on low ground.
No, he pocketed those in there. He tried that little like bounce off the wall strat, didn't work, readjusted things, threw them down and banked them perfectly up against that wall right there. That was beautiful. He's taking the shots down now as well. I actually saw some pretty bad bloom coming out for him, unfortunately. Had the player pinned down there. I think they picked up, they sniped another player now. I can see in the kill feed as well, so I'm not sure what happened there, but looking good right now. They're rotating in. They got that elimination on edge zone. They got those extra points, and again, they're right at that qualification section. This is one team that has relied very highly on elimination points coming into these qualifying games, but today they've been placement kings, but I guess they're showing they've still got it in the bag to pull out these elims.
Yeah, right now this is what you call riding with momentum, right? It's when you're I think this is kind of a theme of towards the end of NA is how your mindset is compared to, you know, if you start off the game with one less teammate, if you start getting naded on the edge side of the map or towards the center circle side of the map, there's big kind of things you have to consider when you're playing in a region that's so competitive where you want to have a fair ground compared to everyone else, right? Right now, look at another side of the actual situation. The Sweaty Sands team that we saw getting contested off spawn that actually won this game is now in shambles, possibly getting grenaded, or not going to say grief, but targeted so hard on the edge side of the zone is going to be a two-man operation now. Is it even possible, Ozzy?
Yeah, they're in zone at least. So at the same time, they're pushing back into these old builds. They're in zone, so they're not going to get pushed out too far here. I think we've lost the feed a little bit here, though. We got we got a bit of a transition now. Never mind, we're going back in. So they're already in zone, though, so now they're not. Now's the pressure's going to come out, right? At some point, they could sit there and hold as long as they wanted. Zone was never going to be an issue. Now zone is an issue, and the nades come out. We've got two down. They knocked the already down player. We still have, I believe is it Pandash? Pandash, sorry, I can't read it quite properly. And J-Love still alive here, trying to hold it down for their team. They're getting aggressed on now from behind. There's another player even further out in Storm.
Yeah, while we finish up this fight, the big thing to know as well in terms of the entire game starting off is of the top 8 teams, only one has been contested on spawn so far. Even with the spawn contestation, it might have not obviously been J-Love. We've seen him take a lot of shots. His mats go down. He's eliminated. Further showing actually shows that, you know, basically you don't want to be the team that's being contested whatsoever. J-Love was a contested player. He goes completely down. He has such trouble rotating towards these end game, mid game circles. The guys who haven't being in contention at all, it sounds like, you know, Ninja, Zayt, these guys are moving through, none of them really being that contested in any games. They get to think, they get to have that clear mental. So important.
Oh, for sure. And at the same time, you always talk about that, like, oh, getting contested luck. But at the same time, who's going to drop on the Kings? You know what I mean? You know you're griefing your own game. Some players just have that reputation, right? You don't want to contest them because even if you somehow maybe come out, you know it's at least going to be at shambles. You're never going to clean wipe the Kings. So at the same time, having that uncontested drop like plays so much in endgame, and you can call it luck, but it never is. It's being a scary team that no one wants to go toe-to-toe with. Got another Ninja fan in the Twitter feed. You love to see it again. I like to see this. People always want to root for the King to fall down, right? We've got the Kings of comp, but we've got a King of content in here as well, and he's showing that he can play with the big boys at this point. Oh, we got a whole boat roll up. That's a very big pickup right there for Mac. We've got a whole boat just delivering themselves in front of them. They get an instant knockdown and the finish, picking up the extra loot off this player. It's a 4v3, and this is just a clinical box fight right now. Opens up the edits, takes the shots in. 4v3, they're going to push through. This just looks like a 4v4 creative box fight right now. They're going through. 2 down, we got 2 to go. This team does not lose these situations. I say that though, Calcos takes some shield tags. He's down to just health. So Zexro, though, maybe these two players can fight their way back out of this. I wouldn't imagine it, but at the same time, they're proving me maybe wrong. Never mind, it's down to a 3v1 now. Let's see how they go. I don't know if the other player slipped away. I can't see him. Did he maybe just take, did he just dip maybe? The other 10 players, yeah, I think he maybe just got out.
His speed when it comes to Macwood communicating and leading his team in a fight, it's just so fast and faster than anyone else I've probably seen. When it comes to shots as well, this team so accurate with the amount of, a knock coming in from reverse actually. The amount of games these guys play, the different sensitivities they have to keep track of. You know, we have Ninja and ex-Halo Pro. We have a lot of these guys who are well-versed in Call of Duty, many other games as well. When these guys come through, play all these competitive games, and then finally get onto Comp Fortnite and have the chance to beat people with first shot accuracy up on top of hills, it's huge. And they're going to be doing this over and over again. White tags coming through from Funk, from the whole team. He gets an actual elim all the way onto KBK plays all the way at the end of that engagement and fight. 54 players left alive, 900 damage above Storm Surge. This might be another game for this entire squad.
Yeah, I think at the same time, I saw chat there earlier. I'm sorry we did. Apparently, we're getting flamed for missing the opportunity to drop the nade hill on a hill. I saw a whole chat spamming. I'm sorry I missed that one. I wasn't quick enough with it. Yes, we did see the Nate Hill special of the Nate Hill, and he banked him straight down. It was beautiful. They're holding this hill now, though. They've been gifted these zones. They're looking so good right now. Look at that fully built metal base. You are not knocking that down. That would take 2 to 3 RPG rockets simultaneously, and even then they reconnect. Like, this team is commanding it right now. If they get half-half, this is their game, 100%. And let's see, we've got one more second. Never mind, we're going back into a team that's in a little bit more action now. They're inside the thick of it. They're in this mid-ground tarp right now, trying to push through. All 4 looking pretty healthy. They're all together. Their mats looking good, though, so they can just keep tunneling through. 41 alive. Harpoon comes out trying to grab these mats, and he does. Extra mats now. They have spare mats and floppers. That was a very, very clutch Harpoon.
Is this a lottery?
Oh my gosh.
The Storm gets all these items, and now they're all... It's flipped. Their entire game is completely flipped. Some of these guys are completely capped on metal now. They were not before. We're talking about different perspectives here as well. It might be a little bit jarring to kind of flip back between Hanson Squad and Ninja Squad as well. We're looking at different times in the game as everyone has different delays, but we will try to give you as much context as possible when we flip through. So now that we know exactly how this mid-ground is so cluttered and contested by all these teams from Hanson's POV, let's see how Ninja actually goes and takes over the high ground or a higher layer to stay on top and not be on that disadvantage. It's a completely fast, quick high ground take against multiple teams. No shots being taken yet at all. Very smart. You talk about mechanics. I see mechanics right there. A lot of people not having any, but that is smart decision making, good building, no shots being taken at them either. Very clean gameplay.
Oh, 100%. Same time. You can say, like, you say you get gifted zones. Is what you do it. This team is so clinical with their rotations and how they take it. Yeah, that high ground take looked easy because they made it easy. They RPG'd in and they pushed over the top. They make it easy for themselves. Spray coming out, though. This is not easy for this team on the mid ground right now. We've seen them looking really good. The pressure comes out. Got that flopper. No spare shield on him. I believe his teammates might, though. They're rotating through 500 mats. There's the big pop being transferred. They need to get in zone before using it, maybe. No, he's going to opt to stay at the back end here. We can see those builds going out to the right. So there's a team below them right now. He's looking for those angles on them. This player's taking that role of trying to get those low ground frags. Warrior in the middle gets the edits through. The team is dropped under their tarp to the left, though, unfortunately, so he doesn't have the edits in on them.
Yeah, right now the big thing about Hanson Squad that we've seen time and time again is endurance. Right now, making very smart plays at the same time as it drones on. These guys end up making a few mistakes, not keeping track of completely everything going on around them, or running out of steam when it comes to making proficient edits and making the right calls towards the end game. Right now, though, very good at fixing all these mistakes. They're on ultimate low ground, which means you don't have to make all the big decisions vertically for your team. You're going to be sticking to the same horizontal layer 24/7. A lot of loot to grab, but at the same time, the risk of so many teams to come and fall down. The different keys, though, up here in mid with Strodels in the driver's seat.
Again, this is what we see this team last time, right? They were full squad all together on this mid ground. Now looks like they're not on high ground, I believe. Yeah, they're on that middle layer. They're on like second height right now. They're building above. There's definitely a team above, but they're commanding this right now. They're looking straight down, building the tarps. His teammates are definitely using those tarps to take some shots down right now. They're taking a look at height. I can't see the RPG, so they might not be able to take it right now. 24 alive. This team's all still together, so we've got a few full squads alive right now. Some shots are coming out. They've got someone on their layer. It's not where you want to be. This is going up the elevation too. So these teams are getting pushed into each other right now. Whether you want to or not, you're going to have to go toe-to-toe soon. Like we said, these box fights are going to come out. 4 people pushing forward, shotguns out, ready to destroy whoever's in front of them. And we have Ninja's team on high ground. That's the team on high ground playing so well right now. You'd have to say this is going to be another big point game for them. And there it is, toe-to-toe, a 4v1. You just don't win those, unfortunately.
Yeah, still about 19 players left alive as we get to what looks like either the 8th or possibly even 9th circle. So many people congested, and there's not enough room, so now the boxes are going to be interjecting with each other. Multiple squads colliding, but Hanson Squad, no mistakes. No one's gone down yet. Lanson's taking the most amount of damage, but he's leading the pack still, unfaltered whatsoever with his tarp. More pressure now, finally coming in from height as they have nowhere else to look. It's 4 ARs and 4 people protecting the top. They get pushed down to a lower layer, the final 9th zone, and there's still more than 10 people, even 15 alive right now, Ozzy. I cannot fathom what's going on.
I mean, we have to imagine that Ninja's full squad is still on high ground right now. So we got this full squad, we got another full squad, and we got about 4 other players unaccounted for. I think that'd have to not be a full squad. Surely this is not 3 full squads to finish this off. Got another players in between. They're dropping down right now. Now they're trying to put some pressure down below. They don't want to get pressured too much from height, but Ninja and that not letting up. The spray is coming down. They're trying to find the angles on low ground. Player doesn't build behind. He gets a nice little tag there. All 4 are pushing through. They're trying to get these angles. They want these limbs. This team's only on 31 points. Not only do they need the win, they need the points. The shot comes in the back right now. He's so low. He's a bit shambles. Gets through. hits the tag, hits it for 97 white. He goes down. The Siphon comes in clutch. He's still alive right now, holding this low ground, commanding it with his team. All 4 are still alive. How are they still alive right now? They have pushed through beautifully. One goes down. As I say that, though, we're going to get a split perspective right now. We have Ninja and Nate Hill on the high ground. Let's see how this one played out for them.
Yeah, looks like these guys are all the way up on height. Can they keep it is the big question. Nate actually editing through different parts of his build. His entire team is all the way up top. This is kind of a backwards look into exactly how this zone actually moved forward. At the same time, there were about 15 people left alive as the 9th zone was still closing, meaning that potentially Aussie over here, no placements were handed out until the very end of the game. Very excited to see that, but we're looking, might have the audio a little bit cut out at the moment, at these guys going forward, putting down as much pressure. Doesn't look like they're getting too many elims, but so many people and a big drop down to kind of, try to stay alive. Maybe this was the reason we saw 16 people still left towards the end of this game. These guys just trying to find any type of scraps to get those points in.
Again, seriously, on high ground, again, they don't need as high point games as those on the low ground. They're playing it safe. They're playing it smart, getting those guaranteed placement points. Like you said, they're coming at the end. This is going to be placement heavy right now. Any elim here is just a bonus. They don't need to drop down and play aggressive. They need that win, secure those placement points. And I'd have to say it, Ninja's teams looks like they're definitely going through to the finals. They're positional masterminds, as Baller said earlier. And what do we see? Probably the 3rd time today, all 4 alive on high ground, looking full health, full shield, mats. Like, it's just incredible at this point right now. The spray comes out. They're just trying to put constant pressure down, make some of these teammates the enemies on low and mid ground make some mistakes, pick up their limbs. Spray comes out, one of the RPG knocks them down, but again, they're ready for it. They just drop down. Their positioning right now is perfect. We've got the audio back. They're dropping down right now. We see Ninja in the top left, getting those storm angles. Out in storm, trying to find it. Pushes forward, uses the flopper if he can. He's 100 right now. He's up against this box. He's about to go in. He walks in, doesn't care, gets the knock. He takes him down. He's almost there, gets the finish. I believe the Siphon comes up. He's still looking healthy right now. He's got the floppers to sit in storm. They're getting the angles right now, and we see in the bottom right that Nate Hill does actually win it. He has the victory. All 4 of them, look at this angle right now, just absolutely decimating on the low ground. Take it.
Yeah, the noise comes back to us exactly when the noise for these guys' placements and elims start getting tickled up on top of that leaderboard. And right now, Ninja, once again, being the catalyst for these teams, or his team specifically, always dropping down in the fray. I saw in chat people saying, wow, Ninja finally went down. What is he doing? It's useless. Look at what he actually gets done when he's down here. He distracts the enemy team. He always gets 1 or 2 elims before he goes down. Then his friends come in. They finally get everything done, or squad mates come in, his friends too, finally get everything done off the pressure he's actually created. It's a huge role and a big risk to play going in first. Nate Hill, 14 HP, finally getting that clutch. Still had 6 minis left over. I feel like these guys aren't even trying super hard.
Oh, obviously, same. We've got other people questioning whether Ninja's, obviously, can he pull it off? I think there's no doubt in Ninja's mind, can he pull it off? He is the first in every time. He gets down there, he gets against the wall, and he gets in, and he converts on it too. We've seen so many times today, we've got that squad on low ground. It's that awkward, how do you get the angle? How do you get in? How do you drop the damage? He doesn't care. Breaks open the wall, says, I'm here, walks in, and just delivers the shotgun shots at close range. He is so confident today, and he should be. They're pushing almost 80 points with a whole game to go.
Yeah, you talked about the points as well. I believe we have those leaderboards ready. So let's jump straight to that scene. Hopefully, if there's any type of weird things happening, it looks like Zate's points are still not getting calculated. They're still stuck at 48 down there. Don't matter. I think everyone knows exactly how these guys are operating at the moment. Yeah, don't care. No one cares. These guys are still all the way at the top. I'm curious to see exactly how many points they could have specifically compared to these top squads. So not sure exactly where they're going to be placing. But hey, big thing to note. We talked about it with one of those calling cards as well. Same teams, the top heavy teams are on the top.
They're on up there. It's insane right now. We saw Monster earlier saying as well who he wants to win Creo. They're up there as well. They're all skating around that point. But I mean, for the storyline, it's the top teams are at the top. But it's, I mean, at that top 3, it's pretty far out of reach. 77 points. Like, they're going to have something go incredibly wrong, obviously. But around that 44, 39, 45, that's pretty thin. Like, this could be, we could see any of those teams go out and we could see other teams come through. I mean, just from me going into finals again, I'm the outsider. I don't have any great connections to these players. This is the top 6 that I want to see, though. You know what I mean? These are the teams that are going to put on the show in the finals and create those stories. It's been incredible so far. I want to see how this final game goes. This gameplay has been exceptional.
No, absolutely. You talk about final game. We've seen this leaderboard 5 times. One big thing to put on that, fact is Vanguard Fong, Vanguard Carry, J Noir, and Schmecht W. These guys have been on the leaderboard in that 5th to 8th place spot. They can possibly find their way in there, but they're going to need to have one of those big, we say it all the time, pop-off games. It's got to be now. This is the last chance. We talk about chances and storylines too. It's looking like almost guaranteed Commandment, Zayd, High Sky, and Saf are going to be facing off against Zexro, Calc, Vincent, or Vinny, and Macwood. So it's looking like we're going to have those two kings still available in the finals. The question is, you're right there. 44 points is the bottom tier right now in terms of how to qualify. It is being held by Creo, so these guys aren't actually, scot-free in having the qualification to be able to play grand finals. There's still so much on the line and building up to this game 6.
So we have Baller here as well, not even on the main cast right now, dropping the stats for us as well. Apparently, Creo's team have only made it into 3 of the 5 games with all of their players. So they are doing this as essentially a trio every time. That is exceptional. Oh my gosh, this team is seriously putting on a show right now. We've seen them as well. I reckon they got a good chance. If they go in as all 4, you have to imagine they're going to clutch out even harder than they already have. If they pick up more points than they've been averaging, they're easily going to qualify at this point. So you'd have to see it, hopefully.
I mean, there's also an in-house kind of competition going on at the moment. One thing you guys can see, it might not be the official 2nd and 3rd place slots, but Has the Great and Young Calculator. A little bit of brotherly love is what we're seeing at the moment. 2 brothers who've played with each other before. I think the thing that put Calc on the map is a clip where these guys are just going at each other. Calc's voice obviously not as deep as it was back then, raging at who made the correct call. Both teams now making amazing calls to be in that top 6. At the same time, I want to see kind of for, personal vibes for these guys at home, who's going to come out on top, because these are 2 very different teams with very different accolades, right? Has the Great team's kind of been a little bit slept on this entire competition, maybe even the trios competition. Finally, in his own brother's heat as well, popping off more so than him. I know by 2 points, but these guys have a victory royale as well under the belt. I don't think Calc does.
Oh, yeah, okay, we got some shade thrown around there. When you're talking about the comms, though, as well, and like you said it earlier, when you're looking at Ninja's team, you say, it doesn't even look like they're trying. They are so calm right now. They're just dismantling the lobby with just cool precision. Like, the comms don't sound stressed. They're in the driver's seat 100%. I have not seen a team command this many games with this much ease. It's incredible. Again, we saw Baller say a positional mastermind. Maybe they set themselves up so they don't have to panic. Whatever it is they're doing, it is working.
Yep, there's now brother tension on the line. There's king tension on the line as to who's going to win, and I'm pretty sure these guys have jumped off the line from the bus, landing in game right now. We're going to switch over right to the action with Savtona, who, hey, surprisingly is not landing Sweaty Sands in his 6th game.
Oh, we got some beats coming out. Okay, I got tricked by that earlier. I'd like to point out that 48. Okay, I've got boomer eyes. I'm on the older side, guys, but I can even tell that 48 is fake. That is my bad. I made comms based on that earlier. I'm sorry. I got tricked. He's vibing either way, though. You love to see it. I don't know how many points he's actually got. Either way, he's having a good time. You love to see it.
Yeah, talking about everything on the line right now. I'm pretty sure we've seen it happen at Sweaty Sands as well. Jack is godly, still landing down here, finally getting taken out. Nounsy's the last one left alive, but it looks like these guys have basically deflated down. They're just trying to have a good time, get some memes and content in for the boys watching back on their streams. Big point to actually make. If you like anything you see, once again, Has the Great coming out of the blue once again. You see all these new players and new faces. They are probably all streaming or have some type of brand. You guys can go watch yourselves as well. This is a big community type of effort. We won't have competition without the players. So you see someone you like, search them up on Twitter, search them up on Twitch, other platforms as well. Check them out, see if it's like,
definitely. This is by the community for the community, guys. At the end of the day, we don't have any content without these guys. Obviously, some people like replay mode, some like the in-game mode. I believe today, production putting on an absolute show right now. The combination of the two is just honestly the best way to watch these games. So at the same time, we don't have that other perspective if you don't check out these players, guys. I love that dropping. I don't know. I think that was a split drop, was it? They all 4 separated, had a bit of fun with it again. This is why you like to see those teams on top, like Ninja in the clear, because weird stuff is going to happen in this final game, and you want to be past that. You want to be past the point where that can affect your games.
Yeah, we're looking at all the love for Ninja and his squad right now. A lot of people actually dropping down, showing their support. These guys might be in contention 100% of winning. It's the return of Ninja, says Sparky. A bunch of tweets and a lot of support. This is actually great. The amount of chemistry and teamwork on Ninja's team is unheard of. Also, Has Great in second with a huge comeback. That's very true. Triggers over there.
So true.
Some facts.
That's
I'm
the
just,
thing.
yeah.
they don't look like they're just going to qualify. Like, they're putting on a show like they're going to maybe win finals too. You know what I mean? Like, they're not just skating through. Like, this is looking like a team that could win. If you watch their gameplay today, you'd be hard-pressed to say they don't have a chance at winning finals.
Yeah, this is also one of the heats that has, I think, the most built by gamers players official, and I believe also maybe unofficial, because I've seen some lowercase BBG and some uppercase clan tags there as well, or org tags there for these guys. It's going to be a calm mid-game rotation. Usually, this is actually really odd for me for NA East. When we have people and things that we see in Sweaty Sands, it's going to be taking a lot of beams here. I'll talk over it for just a second as these guys just look like they clean up with grenades. It'll be a kind of shambles game 6. Not a lot of people taking things, you know, seriously. But right now, it looks like still with 76 people left alive.
Oh my gosh, you love to see it though. Have some fun with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I love to see that genuinely. It's a competitive sport at the end of the day, but this is, again, you got to have some fun with it, right? If you haven't had fun in the gameplay, your team hasn't performed the same way it is, find some way to still enjoy it. Put on some content. You love to see the content creators coming out.
Now we'll see these guys. They all kind of know exactly, as you can keep tabs with the leaderboard game after game, what they need, what they actually will get playing these games at certain point thresholds. If it isn't achievable, do you play for practice? Do you go for the memes? That is the question. 84 players left alive makes it so there's a little bit of balance of both going forward. A few questions as to exactly what BBG is. We're seeing a bunch of it. There's a North American organization, I believe, have a lot of East players signed up. There are a bunch of orgs in this actual competition as well. You can check all the ones you like out on their various social medias. Right now, though, it's all about the players, how they're moving across and exactly how they're playing in the games.
Definitely, yeah, rotating across now. 84 alive, obviously the smallest level we've seen, probably due to maybe, again, we don't know if there's connection issues, but at the same time, these players, obviously we just saw a whole squad go a bit of a meme strat. That's going to affect things as well. So again, we got our schedule for the rest of the day today. Do you want to cover it, Shai? I think you know who's casting each one, or do you want to cover what the schedule for today is?
Yeah, so the schedule for today, this will be the last heat that's being streamed on our channels personally. I believe Clay might be possibly doing an NA West broadcast himself coming up. We'll actually be tossing him a host after the game that we're watching 100%, switching over to Dr. Football here in the background. Tomorrow, though, we will be covering all of NA East and NA East only. And then on Sunday, we'll be covering the European, North America East, and North America West finals. It'll be a long day. Ozzy, I think you have a little bit of coverage going on yourself, right?
I do. I have the OCE. If you guys aren't aware, we do have the OCE heats tonight as well. Both heats are happening on the same day for OCE. We only have 2 heats. We're a baby region, but they're still going to be pretty pog. I'll be casting them on my stream as well to our finals tomorrow night. A little bit late for the NA crew, I think. Ours started 4 our time, which gets incredibly late for you guys. But yes, I will be casting if anyone wants to see what's happening in OCE.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right now, we have a lot of coverage today, and it's all being done by, you know, the love of everyone's hearts for the game. No love here, though. Looks like Vanish takes out E11. This team we saw pop off in Endgame is not to be messed with in the early one either.
Yeah. This is the first time we've seen him. Again, you know, the thing I'm noticing about this team, always full squad. I have not seen them not rolling up as a full squad, even mid-game, right? Like, endgame's one thing. You're in your tunnel, you're in your tarp, but that was just a mid-game skirmish. Still, toe-to-toe, all together, backing each other up. You love to see it.
Right now, it looks like we have these guys, Savtona, who landed away from Sweaty Sands, who've had so much trouble actually getting out of here alive even. Not even going to say winning whatsoever, because these guys get taken out really fast, really early by J-Love's squad. They're going to be rolling in with full loot after the fact, actually on an advantage, putting J-Love on his heels as he moves around. So this could be the return of Savtona in Game 6. Once again, pride is a big thing you get to fight for if you can't qualify. And I think both these squads want to leave their mark on this POI, regardless of their total placements. There's the elimination coming straight from the satellite of High Ground all the way up on a metal base and tarp. Nidak also takes a lot of damage there. All his shield is gone, and now I don't think there's any extra on anyone else's bodies. I think J-Love might have all the minis for his squad.
Yeah, at the same time, like you said, there is still something to fight for, right? We did talk about having those contested and uncontested POIs. You know, we don't know what next FNCS is going to be. We've had some whispers, but you never know. It goes back to squads. You want your drop uncontested, right? You want to put your mark on it. But again, you have no more beef than the team that is contesting your drop, right? Like, you have to do it for a bit of pride there. You got, as much as you want to go for the memes, I think these teams playing it out to the very end, trying to go down swinging, I respect them massively. Got him on the high ground, dropping the nades now too, banking him off those cones, trying to hit the wall and go down where he saw that player get knocked.
Hey, talk about high ground. I don't know what the heck that build
What was
was all
that?
the way. It's sweaty. Actual space station all the way up in the sky. And I believe someone also looked like on JLove's team built up all the way to it. So, that's the exact thing you're talking about. You hit the nail right on the, where you hit nails. Literally, people with memes and people with competition still following through. That is the wave we're seeing in this game 6, at least in the early game. I want to see how it translates towards the end. We're going to be tuning in once again with Haz the Great. This is half of the brothers. It's to be saw Calc's perspective there as well. Very cool to see both these teams alive at the moment and prospering, moving through to exactly where they need to go. I don't think these guys have properly fought each other on an even kind of, platform in game in a very long time in NA East. Back in the PG days, they used to PG each other with some of the biggest, strongest 1v1ers. A nice defensive trap actually coming down, almost ending both games. Savtona, I believe, once again, cannot find a way to win Sweaty Sands at all.
It's just, again, like I said, no one's winning Sweaty Sands. We have not seen a team win this yet. They might walk away alive, but they definitely didn't win by any terms of it. We've seen some clean wipes out of Slurpee and stuff in that POIs. This has been the most scrappy POI. We saw that Skybase. Don't know whether that was an effort to try and maybe finish that one a little bit quicker than these fights have gone for, but this is just straight scrappy gameplay. It's the final game. I think with those points, both the teams not looking like they're going to qualify. I think they're just doing it for pride at this point, trying to see if they can take them out on top.
Yeah, not to be taking anything out from these guys whatsoever. We're looking at the call to action as this fight kind of breaks through. Haz and Young Calc both have made 2 finals. They've averaged 38th place overall and are within 15th and 20th in total finals eliminations. The question is who will win today, and there is a little bit of augmentation. That replay that we saw from Haz only had 3 of his squad mates in the game.
Do we have traps?
True. You'd have to be thinking, you gotta be thinking throwing it to Calc there, but I guess we'll see. You never know. Again, we've seen teams perform today with 3 players. Crio's team has only had 4 players 2 of the games so far, apparently, so you never know.
It's a big ramp up for kind of, talk about pride. I think a lot of people possibly who watch NA East do know Calc's reputation when it comes to winning and losing with his peers. This probably matters a lot to both individuals when it comes to banter.
We know NOC as well. Don't even worry. Outside of NA, we know. Yeah, trust me, we know.
Yeah.
We copped it a little bit there. When our NA players went to, OC players went to NA, they ran into Calc, and yeah, we saw it unfold. It's interesting, if anything.
I mean, hey, then I'll ask the people in the chat, because we do have a little bit of your community and the NA East community watching. Are you on hashtag Team Calc or hashtag Team Haz?
Oh, they're not going to be Team Calc. They're
going to be, all right, if your OCE is hashtag Team Haz. Okay.
I think it's just team anything that's against Calc at this point, to be honest.
All right, okay, true. I see a little bit of Team Calc over there. I see a lot of Team Haz now coming in. It's going to be a war at the very end of the game. We're looking at one of the most consistent squads as well on our screen towards the latter half of these games. It's Hansen, who we saw finally fixing their mistakes towards the end. Unfortunately, we had a big anomaly last game with 19 people being left alive in the 9th zone, so they couldn't actually capitalize on anything. But hopefully this game it'll be a little bit different. Fun to see exactly, though, this competition build up between 2 brothers. Monster D-Face, the best esports helper in the world. That's one of the kind of memes coming out of his stream. Someone confused them as to just being a helper.
Just a helper? Okay,
just a helper, yeah.
All right, okay. Okay, well, again, we talk about like us all the way down here. I feel like if you're known as one of the top tier commentators from halfway around the world, I'm pretty sure you're known as more than just the helper at the same time. But I mean, listen, like that commentary today, man, that was getting us hyped. Me and Shai was sitting in the call in those first 3 games, just like fighting at it, man. It was entertaining. These games are phenomenal. I can't wait to see the finals too. So you guys covering the finals here as well, correct?
Yeah, we're gonna be fighting the finals for NA East and NA West and Europe all the way on Sunday. Ooh. This is the task I have for production. I want to see a big screen of hashtag Team Calcs and hashtag Team Hazes from Twitter. If you're in the chat right now and you have a Twitter account, I want you to be on Twitter showing your support for one of the sides, all right? And if you have, a cool line, if you have one of the first comments out, I want to see production get something up on screen. We can see exactly who is tuned into the competition.
Okay, let's see. I mean, I think there's a lot tuned in the competition right now. I mean, there's no better place to watch this. The production team putting on an absolute show at the moment. These different perspectives right now, getting these up here. Oh, there we go. We got our first one here from StatsYFN_. He's got FNCS Finals, hashtag Team Haz. Okay, there you go. First one comes through, the first blow. Team Haz on top at this point.
Now we'll see exactly how these guys move through. We're going to be tuning in with the full squadron of Keys, Zypha, Cloud, and Creo right now, which is going to be underneath
full squad. There we go.
Yeah, no more trios. These guys have finally updated the Fortnite clients, and they're playing on the squads FNCS mode in the present with us, jumping with joy, using the Nog Op skins, the Minty axes, and the Christmas pickaxes as well.
Look at the loadout, though. The RPG and the nades, that's going to be dropped on someone for sure. Storm Surge, again, this game, only 57 alive. This lobby is a lot smaller right now. But again, no matter what the lobby size, nades and RPGs, they're still going to sway the fight. That's still easier limbs. So we'll see how that one plays out. Got another team has, and we got OC's got your back. Okay, okay.
That's kind of a North America East versus OCE competition. Right now, though, no competition for these guys to be able to block grenades being absolutely and precisely thrown into their boxes. Once again, mid-ground teams or low-ground teams kind of maybe browsing Twitter, trying to decide exactly which brother to support, are getting bombarded, not focusing whatsoever at all to the threats in front, around, hiding right near them. Only one person, it looks like, left in terms of total HP. Strodels and Jumpin only sharing about 100. No shields on either. They finally get both of those shields up. Minis are still there, but it looks like their chances to get into that top spot got hindered greatly.
Yeah, at the same time, this is the worst we've seen this team in. So again, I'm surprised to see those 32 points. They've been playing, whenever we see them, they're together, they're endgame, they're rotating well. Maybe just not being able to find those toe-to-toe fights we've seen break down towards the end. But at the same time, this is the most shambles we've seen them. But again, we've seen some teams today pull off some solo clutches. We'll see if they can maybe do it as well. You never know, around that 30-point mark. Tuning back into the Kings right now, though. 77 looking good. I don't know. They might have to take the mantle Kings today from Sap and Zate. They could end up taking this, right? There's some major pride points in the line. Qualify or not, Ninja's team coming out first in this heat. I don't think anyone would have predicted that, right? The question was, will Ninja qualify? Most people are saying Zate is going to qualify. Obviously, his squad's been dominant in pretty much every game mode he's touched at the moment. But Ninja's team coming first? I don't know if I heard that anywhere. We'll have to see.
I mean, you know, I followed a little bit of their preparation as I was very curious. Looking at the nades actually coming down. I'm not sure exactly which team they were nading, because this is near Holly Hedges. This could be a replay on the nades that we saw before, with a lot being kind of driven down, a few eliminations being taken. That, or it could be completely different nades. I believe those grenades had to be, though, the ones they were looking for. It does seem like similar names on our screen, and it's the most tactical team that's throwing them. These guys not only get a few elims possibly on the board, they also get a lot of pressure kind of drawn out for their mid and low ground. More nades still coming through.
Oh my gosh. You got to call it a nade strike, right? So that's 65 meters and he takes him down. BBG, you were talking about it earlier. Diddy goes down. The nade strikes, right? You get that 65-meter sweet spot and you just hurl them in as the teamwork. Here we go again. That's 3 at a time just coming in. It just drops straight in. Look at
it is on them, yeah.
It's absolute shambles in there right now. There was another team that was close by too, and looks like they're throwing nades now as well. It's not just your nades. It's what it tells the rest of the lobby. Everyone takes the chance to try and pick up those shambles teams, pick up their limbs, but also this team's been very smart. They threw their nades and they've rotated forward. It's not just about getting the limbs, it's about getting the loot as well. Commandment and that really want to qualify today. They're pushing on that loot. They secured the loot. We saw they were shambles. We saw they didn't have much, but at this point, any loot is good loot right now.
Yeah, we're looking forward. That's the biggest thing that you kind of, you know, touched on there. These nades, 65 meters. Although they get you the pressure, they get you the elims, getting those resources is so important. That's exactly what Zate gets done, leading that squad all the way to where they need to go. Another 65-meter grenade stat being stretched up by the positional mastermind squad. They come through an RPG to boot as well. I don't see any knocks in the feed. Looks like just Calc gets one across the server with a rifle, but a lot of pressure kind of put down. A lot of mats for that team who's near height will be taken off, which is still a big thing because you need to have mat conservation moving forward. But now, look at this, Ozzy. Look at the entire server kind of boxed up in Holly Hedges. The community's being built. It's going to be an insane rotation if the zone goes anywhere close to it. Oh,
they're a little bit outside, so not too bad. But that team on high ground, they just pressure does have to come down right now. If they got that zone there, that would have been deadly for the rest of the lobby. But yeah, look at these pre-builds right now. Look at it all. It's just a fortress in there. This is probably the most even level playing field we've seen so far as zones go. No real major mountains, no water. It seems like it's probably going to be the least RNG-based zones we've seen so far. I'd have to say again, Paula said it earlier, positional masterminds, Ninja and that moving quickly and going for it. Let's see if they can pull it off. They're going really good into endgame right now. We're tuning in to, I believe it's Hansen's team right now. Looking pretty good. Still holding on to those nades and RPGs. They got zone as well. 42 alive. Picked up no limbs so far, but 39 points with a good game. They could see their names up there. They're going to have to try and pick up some limbs though for sure. And again, Ninja that. Look at that. Clean rotations. Got the zone. Ooh, didn't take any damage on the rotation until there. Little snipe comes through. Only a body tag. Luckily, but he gets the elimination. They're following up with the nades, but it seems like the nades were just a little bit off. So he's going to use those minis and he's back up though. That's not a bad rotation at all from these positional masters.
Yeah, look at the desperation on the server, man. 46 players left alive in comparison to every single game we've seen before. Funk actually going down towards that low ground. Looks like he's going to be going down to Nosh's
Nosh's
squad.
team.
And this is a big win condition for these guys. If they ever get a refresh of mats, loot, position, or pressure towards these end 3rd to 10th zones or 3rd to 9th zones, they usually end up lasting all the way to that 9th zone. Huge place to get the Elim on low ground with the option of moving. We'll go forward to our most updated stream now, which is Hansen. He's going to be a little bit ahead of all the other POVs that we're going to be seeing. These guys already got the zone. It's going to be towards the southern side of the map near Holly Hedges. There's a leaderboard update as well if you want to run through that, Ozzy.
Yeah, so right now we've got Nate Hill Ninja's team on 77 points. We have Night FN's team on 66 points. We have Zex's team on 64. We have Commandment on 48. We have Ideal Play's team on 45. And we have Creo's team on 44. So right now they've got this 50-50. They're going straight into it right now. They've got those RPGs and those nades. We talked about teams earlier using those RPGs aggressively, or do you use them defensively? This team choosing to hold on to them right now, not dropping them in. We'll see how that one plays out for them right now. They might make a play for high ground. But again, I think this team needs to pick up a fair few eliminations. The mid and low ground might be the play just to have those scrappy fights. We'll have to see, but that's a 1-6. That's looking pretty stacked. That's looking like a good top 1-6.
44 points as well. This is before the game actually started. So Hansen now has climbed up to 39, but Creo has been operating with a full squadron moving through this game. The number to hit has to be, I would say, close to even 50 points to maybe qualify, depending on if every single squad there stays alive. It looks like that's going to be the case. Maybe a few individuals going down ultimately, just like Face Funk, as we can see on your screen. These guys are going to opt to actually keep height on this rotating circle, or this half and half circle as it closes in. The question now is who gets to keep the zone after the zone closes in.
We'll see. And the thing, we'll see maybe, like we talked about having one player go down in your team, not having too much of an effect, but Funk has been. Oh, Keys goes down. Oh, they trade for it though as well. Though we got Flex down here. They'll probably be able to get this pick up right now, just rotating back into fully built metals, a nice place. But as I was saying there, Funk's the player to go down. He's been their rocket endgame. He's been their solo carry. So again, they don't need to pick up massive points here, but at the same time, so far what I've seen today, it's probably one of the teammates you wouldn't want to see go down. But again, the other three holding it down. We'll see how they go. They're in a great position rotating in. We saw another team earlier today pick up some great points with one player down. So we'll have to see how they go.
Yeah, this is a complete piranha gameplay, though, because these guys just have their feet above this basically shark-infested water Creo squad, and the Sharks themselves, Hansen, these guys trying to climb over that point threshold, got the knock onto Keys. Not sure if that elimination was fully gone through, as both teams got a knock on each other, but now we know they're both alive and on opposite sides of the very zone. One update I would like to see also from the back is exactly how Haz and Calc are doing in this circle as well. The RPG comes through. You talked about Funk, the way he uses it. Hansen coming through with a big RPG up towards high ground. They're going to use that distraction to drop lower and gain space. Now possibly building for height is the question. Maybe it's too much to destroy.
Yeah, I think they haven't really got the massive height too much here, I'd say. They've got the nades yet. They've only got a couple of RPGs left. But at the same time, look at this lobby. We started with a pretty small lobby. We still get Storm Surge warnings at endgame right now. These players are going for it. They want these final points. They want to qualify. Knockdown to low ground. That turned against them very quick right now. He's down there holding the builds. They've got two players in there holding, trying to edit back out the backside if they can. They've got the bandage cannons out. They've got the shields out. They're trying to get back to a healthy position. Flex goes down. This team went from looking phenomenal to shambles so quickly. We also got Lanson pretty low as well. They're going to try and rotate through. They get zone at their backs. They get a bit of breathing room, they get some time. Is the play to keep rotating on this contested layer, or do you go down? I don't think they've got any way of going up right now. Some beautiful tarping coming out. Tuning back into Ninja's team, though. They're still looking like they're commanding this game. It looks like they've gone off the high ground. They're on second high right now, though.
Yeah, looking at one of the stats we just saw over there coming into this actual heat, usually these guys were able to convert wins when they had position 44% of the time, or when they survived towards the end. 44% of the time they would get kind of placement points or a chance at getting any type of points whatsoever. Now today, just in this heat,
the self-RPG. You hate to see he tried to go for that mid and low ground with it. He's tried to save it for this long, and it doesn't go the way he wants. He runs out of mats, and he gets lasered from high ground. It goes through. He's standing there holding his builds, looking up, and nothing's coming out from it. Two players still holding on to only one now. Lanson's on low ground. We haven't got the angle on him. He's in that ultimate low. 12 players left. He goes down to Macwood. So they're the team on high ground racking up some points right now. So we'll see how they go. Lanson toe-to-toe. The 108 blue tag, but he goes down, unfortunately. tuning back into Nate Hill over here, looking pretty good right now.
Watch grenades.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit further back in time. We did see exactly how everything turned out in one of those lower middle ground layers, but now Nate Hill up kind of a little bit higher and moving higher as well, being surprised, but his friends are there to back him up. Reverse and Ninja. Ninja on low HP on Stormline will not be a good combination, tasty to eat whatsoever. He finally goes down. Reverse stuck in Storm, has to go all the way down to low ground. We'll see that's a possibility coming back over here from the supporting perspective of Ninja. Just a few seconds ago, we saw Nate actually go down. We'll see exactly who gets that elim from one of these two guys and how this individual came up from behind Nate. Looks like he just sneaked through from the bottom.
Snuck through. He just got in there somehow. So we know this ends up with Reverse trying to solo carry this one again. They've got some serious points right now. At this point, you'd almost definitely say they've qualified. They're going for bragging rights now, and this team has a lot to prove though. So Reverse is trying to rotate through. He's on low ground. Looks like he's got the builds above him right now. He's just rotating through. He'll get that finish before, but I believe Ninja got the knock though, so I don't know if he'll get the siphon. But either way, he's rotating through. Doesn't want to stay there. He's on low ground. This player has such clinical precision when it comes to this point though. He's only got one build though. There's only so much you can do. That's it. No builds. The tack shot comes out. The player sees he's behind him, and then he gets taken down, unfortunately coming 10th. But we see Commandment's team right now, again, they're racking up the points. You'd imagine we've gone a fair bit further back into the game, getting a little bit of a replay right now. Look at this tunnel. Their positional masterminds right now, though, they're controlling this game. There's so many alive right now. We saw them. They somehow transitioned this to a height take. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. Either way, though, it's going to have to rack up some points, surely.
Yeah, this is before the moving circles even start. Before we even get a chance of exactly seeing where they are. But now we have the almost, I would say, final perspective of how mid-ground is looking. I'm going to be excited to see if these guys end up even taking height. A few box fights actually coming in from another base that's beside them. Snaky Poo actually ends up going down. They toss his body into their base, have a safe place to get all their mats.
It's great though. At the same time, like sometimes it seems like it's a little bit, you get stuck on those mats. All four people going down into builds that aren't yours in awkward areas. It can lead to some of you going down. Like it's a smart thing to do. Get them up into your fully built metal. There's no better place right now to figure out what you're going, split some mats, and just reassess before you go into this next zone right now. They're looking so well. Again, we talked about Ninja right before with their comms and seeming like they're not panicked. This is what you need to do to make sure you have that command over the game.
Yeah, speaking of that squad, it seems like when I finally saw Reverse towards the end of the game, he had around 79 points for him and his squad. Looks like these guys will 100% be going towards those grand finals, which is huge. It's going to be crazy to see this team actually play up and prep up for the competition happening this Sunday. 3 more heats to go on NA East will all be tomorrow. We're going to be looking at the team all the way up on height. Actually, Vinny is down, moving in towards this big height take and pressure from Macwood. We saw him get a few eliminations. Zexer will be the one we're following in the driver's seat. This could be anyone's game right now. I understand that NA East might be done, but us ourselves personally and a lot of people on the broadcast have not seen the ending of this game. It's going to be cool to see exactly how this plays out.
Oh, I'm not looking at chat. No spoilers here. I want to see this right now. 68 points, double RPG on high ground. They're looking beautiful. They definitely racked the points up this game. They've got height. They're taking different angles. They're trying to pick up those limbs, not going too aggressive right now, using those RPGs to suppress people. At this point, I don't think they need to save them. No one's really going to be able to take height off them. We have Commandment rotating through. I think that was the RPG on high ground that got Commandment down a little bit right now, but again, didn't drop him on anyone. He's just on this same layer as them, trying to find some room, trying to make sure he gets these maximum placement points. Some beautiful tapping coming out right now. He's on the same layer, but he's kept that distance on that far side of zone, making sure he gets in first, making sure he doesn't get panicked too much towards the end. Now we've got Cloud right now and Creo playing it duos. We've said today they've had to play trios a fair bit with the player not connecting. Now they're going duos. Oh my gosh, the laser comes out on Gamble. The RPG drops through. They knock another player's on them. They've got a beautiful angle right now. No one can shoot up. The nades come out. They are just suppressing this team on low ground, making this rotation so difficult for them. There's Ninja. We see Ninja fall down through the screen there as well. They won't be able to get any of that loot, but some beautiful plays to take out some damage on low ground.
Yeah, this is the scariest individuals you want contesting you near height. It's Chaotic and Paper near that second high ground. Pouring's kind of split away from his teammates. Macwood goes down to refresh on his mats, but is it going to be too much of a time investment to where he loses height? No, Calc is all the way up top, making sure and securing everything on top of this actual fight and kind of flight for height. This is the trio kind of coming together from even just last season, ending out their run in the heats of this season. So the chemistry is 100% there. These guys know exactly how to get every single elimination. They're also 100% with 74 points, going to be qualifying for the grand finals. It's all about actually finishing the show and making sure it can kind of have that mental stamp on not only other squads they're going to be facing in the finals, but every squad here, showing people in NA East and across the world exactly who they are and how they play. Isu finally goes down.
They're competitive veterans. You know, some of these players have that normal, that close to toxic mentality at the same time. It's because they're competitive. They love to win. They want to win at all costs. And I think almost no one embodies that more than Zex as well. He doesn't care how many points he got. If he's already qualified, he wants to rack the points up. He wants to make a statement. He is never one to just go down easy.
Yeah, big thing to note over here as we wait for a little bit of that buffering to end. This is the communication between the past squad's winners and the potential squad winners of this entire FNCS region, or the highest placing ones. Haz is also alive with his squad kind of elusively at the bottom. These guys are going to have the utmost communication with their bullets on height with all these different individuals. The most important to them in terms of storylines for who's playing right now, it's the Kings and the brotherly love all coming down together towards the 9th zone. It's finally locked in. Saf going down now. Shield actually being knocked off by multiple teammates. Zate's squad looks like they're in a weak position.
Until Saf went down there, they went from mid, they went low, they went back up a layer. They stayed together so well. This team's chemistry right now, again, we're looking at players, how they're going to do in finals, right? These players are in finals, but they're playing so well right now. Rotating through on low ground, all three of them going together. They got the bandage cannon out. They're looking a bit low on shield, but at the same time, rolling in together. Like you said earlier, 3 shotguns facing out you. Doesn't matter if you're 100-100, you're going to go down if you're caught in the crosshair. We've got a really good perspective right now. High ground not being that high. They're laying the damage down. Only a couple layers above. High Sky goes down. He's on 60 health right now. He's just staying alive. He's trying to hold this one out with these builds right now. He's got the bandage cannon. I believe only had 1 build left. We got a fight going out in Storm. Now goes down to Commandment, takes him down, gets the Siphon, stays alive. He's on 47 health, got the flopper, so he might be able to get back in off. He's got multiple floppers. He's looking good right now. We got Zexa on less than 50 health right now, taking High Sky as well. They're trying to take this fight out. This is such a big end game right now. This is going to be it. We got Zexa on low ground by himself, trying to go toe to toe, and he goes down, unfortunately. Zate and Commandment, oh my gosh, ending on just 50 health there. He almost went down. He could have clutched that. We see 2 of the best squads in NA East fighting it on low ground, toe to toe for the end. Oh my gosh, you couldn't have asked for a better ending.
Old Kings and new Kings fight for the crown, and Commandment once again comes in with a heel clutch, his signature move with the floppers to get that victory. You cannot write the script any better. All the storylines kind of coming in together at the very end. Nosh trying to fight for height, trying to get it off the previous Kings. We have Saf surviving, Haz in the shadows as well. That is the most perfect Game 6 I could ask for, and the most perfect end to the first heat of NA East.
Oh, it was beautiful. Like I said, we talk about stories all the time. I know chat cares about, I know casters care about, but seriously, storylines, that was amazing. You'd love to see that finish. I cannot wait to see this leaderboard. I mean, I don't think things were shaken up too much there at the end, but that's what we wanted, right? It was those top teams going through. We said it was one of the most top heavy heats there was, but at the same time, they're going through. I think that was a beautiful top 6, but that last end game there was insane. I'd love to see something like that play out in finals again. They got the better of him there. Zex just went down. I bet he's a little bit annoyed about that. He'll hold on to that grudge. We'll see how that one plays out. I think, we might have seen it. We saw a little bit. We got feathered. We'll see how we go. I'm getting excited. I want to see this.
Yeah, so right now we're just kind of confirming the leaderboards. We did see a few errors with Zate's points. Might be manually adding that up or waiting for the API to update itself with a little bit of catch up. So we'll see exactly how that works in total. Big things to note, though, are just the performances, man. You talked about the storylines, Ozzy. It was great casting with you as well, man. The speed, the precision of all the plays coming through. It was phenomenal. My blood is still pumping.
So much fun, man. It was so exciting. We were getting hyped from the first 3, man. It was like I was just biting my teeth to get into it. You can't ask for better. You got a great casting duo partner. You got great gameplay. It's beautiful. I think we got leaderboards coming in now. It's fixed. I'll let you take a shot. You can go through it, my dude.
All right, let's check out exactly how things look the right way. 97 points from Commandment, Zate, High Sky, and Saf, showing that, our heats were not a fluke. We only like sitting on the throne. That's where our crowns look the best. Right behind them, though, will not be knocked out are Calc, Zextro, Vincent, or Vinny, and Macwood. Behind them, the guys that you said yourself, Ozzy, did not, have a running chance from a bunch of competitive support who are, Ninja, Nate Hill, Funk, and Reverse, showing everyone, defying expectations that they can play at 79 points. A big thing, though, Haz the Great has made grand finals in the same heat as his brother with Perplexity, Knight, and 0 Cash Cup earnings, which might change, even though this is not Cash Cup. But that is huge because, it's kind of unprecedented in the history of FNCS or even Comp Fortnite in general.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. You got to look at the bottom as well, though. We were talking about these top teams, though, but 47 points being the same as 47 getting knocked out because of that win difference. Again, we haven't seen the full stats there, but man, he's got to go down. We saw Creo again. They went down. They've only got 1 point difference. At the same time, we saw how many times they connected in with one player down. Imagine if you had that extra player to support you to get one more limb, 2 more limbs.
Yeah, these guys were knocked out by 2 eliminations all the way down to 8th place. The one team that kind of fixed their mistakes the whole time, Hanson, that one guy, Lanson and Flex T, push up to 5th place. These guys were in very similar point range when that last game started. We got the update. They got that knock on Keys when they started to move, and that clutched them out all the way to a grand final spot, knocking out in game and in real life Creo, Zypha, Cloud, and Keys from the competition. Asylum, Isu as well was knocked by, I believe, Macwood on height, dropping down in that last game. That's huge as well. That's NA East Heat 1. The top dogs stay all the way up top. At the same time, these smaller teams coming in, finally making a name for themselves. Not to actually be, forgotten, are the other 3 heats also happening tomorrow. NA East Heat 2 will continue. It's Bizzle versus finally the onslaught of the Controller Gang coming through. He's had a lot of things to say on Twitter. There've been a lot of clapbacks as well in the community. We can finally put a hole and a cork in the actual argument as to, hey, what input is better? Oh, they only work in solos, not in a team mode. It's going to be an insane competition tomorrow with high precision, high accuracy. Heat 3 will start as well at 3 p.m. Heat 4 at 6. The finals will be broadcasted on Sunday. And Ozzy, what do you have for us later on tonight?
Oh, so I'll be doing OC Heats later tonight. If you guys want to tune in on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/AussieAntics. They're starting in 1 hour and 40 minutes. We have Heat 1, and then we have a 1 hour interval before Heat 2. We have both, and only OC's 2 heats happening tonight. And then we have finals tomorrow as well, which I'll be casting. But I'm looking forward to the heats tomorrow as well. I will be back tomorrow if you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much. I saw a bunch of my followers in chat. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning into this server here. I saw some shout outs earlier for your guys' YouTube channel. Do you want to shout that out before we end it out though? Monster D-Face was dropping the YouTube links. They're trying to build that up. Get some of this into video format.
True. Yeah,
I mean, check it out, guys. So practice server on YouTube. Definitely check it out. Chuck some subscriptions. You might see some of my face back on there as well. But yes, I will be going tomorrow as well. So I'll be on some of the heats tomorrow. So I'll see how you guys go. But yes, I'll be covering OCE and then back again tomorrow. But then finals, man, this production value for finals, I know where I'll be watching finals from NA as well. You guys will do such a good job. Thank you today, Shio. That was beautiful. Thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate it. That was so much fun. Couldn't have asked for better.
Thank you so much, man. We'll try to fly up the final kind of slay of exactly who's casted today and is up for tomorrow. If we do have that scene ready for production, that is the schedule. Here we go. Ba boop. Oh, there it is. Almost finally. Okay, so on the top left, Shio Wager, you already know who he is. Monster D-Face. Sundown as well will be casting tomorrow. Ball CW. Clay Stelling as well will cast it a little bit of EU early on. We have Aussie Antics, the big man that has been casting with me all along as well. It's been a big pleasure. And Reflections, who was casting NA East with Monster early on. We will all be back tomorrow, I believe. Monster might actually be joining us just for the Sunday finals, but he will be here in spirit. There's going to be a big show. If you guys enjoyed what you liked today, make sure to sound off on Twitter. Let us know in any of the Reddit threads that will be up top in that Fortnite competitive Reddit. Shout out to all the mods and all the channels everyone's kind of, been tuning in with on every single different stream that's been restreamed. The Twitch drops as well will, I think, be activated for the finals on Sunday. We are working tomorrow as well. They'll be activated as well if you want your spray and your banner. Many questions we've seen about that in the chat below. And yeah, that wraps up our show and coverage for today. Big storylines, big moments. We'll be seeing you guys tomorrow with NA East 2, NA East Heat 2. Keep an eye out on Twitter exactly for how it goes. And then, we have people still casting. So Ozzy, going to be looking forward to your OCE cast. Have a great day, guys. We will see you very soon. Matt Replenish is coming through to connect, but it might just be 150. Moving down the quick left and right pin. The 1-2 combo on Pagoda.
One more. Spray. Let's go, boy. Cracked on me. 1 HP. No, 1 HP, 1 HP right here. 1 HP, 30, 20. Let's go!
This is what it's all about.
Let's go!
Yes, they're in our game. Yes, I'm in grief mode.
Yeah, we're talking to you.
Good fucking shit, guys. Good fucking shit.